From pretty much the present, this is your host, Adam Graham, bringing you a week of old-time radio detective podcasts from 2012. Because these podcasts are many years old, any offers or information included in the podcast may not be valid unless they're currently reflected on our Great Detectives of Old Time Radio website at greatdetectives.net. Here now is a week of old-time radio detective podcast. Welcome to the Great Detectives of Old Time Radio from Boise, Idaho. This is your host, Adam Graham. If you have a comment, email it to me, box13 at greatdetectives.net. Give us a call, 208-991-4783, and become one of our friends on Facebook, facebook.com/Radio Detectives. Well, I do want to encourage you, if you've not already, to pick up a copy of my ebook, All I Needed to Know, I Learned from Columbo. In All I Needed to Know, I Learned from Columbo, we take a look at 7 great fictional detectives, including Sherlock Holmes, Nero Wolfe, Monk, Father Brown, and, of course, Columbo. And we glean 12 life lessons from their stories. It's a nice, fun, light read. It's available for $1.99. It's available in most ebook stores as of this recording date. It's not yet available in the Apple Store, but you can also get it at smashwords.com. All right, well, now it's time for today's episode of Barrie Craig. We had 3 lost episodes between last week's show and this one. This one is from June the 9th of 1955, and it is called Suckerbait.
William Gargan stars as Barrie Craig, confidential investigator.
Give a man enough rope and he'll hang himself. An old proverb, but don't believe it too implicitly. Give a man enough rope and he might hang you. A switch, but all in the line of work. After all, hangmen also eat.
The National Broadcasting Company presents William Gargan in another transcribed drama of mystery and adventure with Barrie Craig, confidential investigator.
Craig speaking. There's nothing like a college education. The hallowed halls of ivy is the perfect cure for moss on the brain. I had my own wits nicely sharpened a case or two ago, matriculating in an institution of higher learning known across the land as Blankhurst U. I'd been summoned to the dean's office. A mild-looking chap with eyeglasses that sat on the middle of his nose. His name was Palmer, Dean Percival Palmer.
My decision to employ you is personal. As you may know, we have a rather celebrated basketball team.
Enough said. I can fill in the rest. A rated basketball team grown too big for the old college gym. Gone big time. Big arenas, big gates, big dough, big bets. Players are bribed, games are dumped, etc., and so forth.
I've considered outlawing basketball at Blankhurst U.
Now, what are the facts?
There are no facts as such. Only whisperings, grave rumors, a seething undercurrent in the school and in the public press.
Well, spell out one specific rumor.
Very well. It is hinted that the contest of last week was, fixed.
Who played against Blankhurst U last week?
Stratton College. Stratton College was the obviously inferior team.
Well, obvious by what measurement?
Why, its record for the season. It had won but 2 contests and lost 14.
Pretty feeble, all right.
While Blankhurst U came into the contest with 16 victories and 3 defeats.
Making Blankhurst you the odds-on favorite. But Blankhurst you lost, huh?
Yes.
Well, how close was the score?
49 to 43. There was a sharp newspaper attack after the contest. A sports columnist named Sophie Slater writes a column called The Lowdown on Sports. He was almost libelous in what he wrote.
Well, who is the captain of the team?
Chris Ransom.
And who is the coach?
Sandy Bigelow.
Do the rumors touch Coach Bigelow?
Very much so.
The crooked coach. Rare, if true. It's usually one player that louses up a team. One susceptible sucker that gamblers can get to. However, when's the next game?
Tomorrow night. Blankhurst, you plays Van Bursen College.
Well, who's favored to win?
Van Bursen College has yet to win one major contest this season.
Meaning if Van Bursen wins tomorrow, there's really something rotten in Blankhurst. The next night, I was a spectator, along with 20,000 other basketball fans. The game was played in the $1 million Bates Coliseum. Everybody invited, regardless of pedigree, and nobody barred. Just pay the admission tab. Look over your shoulder and see half the graduating class of Sing Sing, 1935 to 55. College basketball was sure rubbing elbows with riffraff. Blankhurst figured to be a walk-away winner on its record, only it wasn't. It was trailing in the last quarter, 67 to Van Bursen's 74. Trailing with only minutes left on the big clock. And then the final whistle blew. The catcalls and boos could be heard in Siam. If Blankhurst had lost legitimately, nobody believed it. I caught the captain of the team, Chris Ransom, under the showers. A gangling youngster who stood 6'6" high. Red hair and a crew cut. And freckles like somebody had splattered his face with a ripe tomato.
Hey, pass me a towel, huh?
Sure. Here you are.
Thanks. You're here to heckle me, huh?
Why do you say that?
You're the secret agent Dean Palmer wished on us.
Well, I see my fame has preceded me. Oh, whenever you're ready, Chris, I've got some questions.
Well, is this going to take long? I've got a date. New chick. I can lose her to 20 other guys.
Well, I'll make it brief.
Well, I'm holding you to that. Come on, we can chin in the locker room.
Captain Chris Ransom wasn't too candid a witness.
So we lost a few games. Why all the hullabaloo?
Well, Blankhurst lost 2 in a row to pushovers.
The team's on ragged edge. Beat, dog-tired.
I saw tonight's game. I made some mental reservations about it.
You going to set yourself up as a basketball expert?
I know the game, Chris. I was a player as a youngster and a fan ever since.
All right, Mastermind, go ahead. What did you find suspicious about tonight's game?
For one thing, the money riding on it.
How would you know?
Faces in the crowd. Tony Capron, a big Eastern bookmaker. Vince Barden, a notorious fixer, prize fights and horse racing. Barden's been convicted for both. And then Johnny Minton, One-Eyed Meyer, Richie Silk, Bozo the Bull. Oh, you had a prize gallery of fans in the Coliseum tonight.
Was that the team's fault?
All right. I won't hold the gambling picture as I read it against the team. But answer me this. Why did you replace yourself in the last quarter?
Sprained ankle. I'd begun to limp.
Ankle looks fine to me now.
It wasn't then.
Second-string player subbing for you meant money in the bank for the gamblers, Chris. You're Blankhurst's anchor man, and its top scorer.
Are you accusing me of deliberately...
I wouldn't accuse any boy of anything. Not until I have positive proof. Absolute evidence. You've got a big future ahead, and I'd hate to see it wrecked by stigma or innuendo. I'm a cop, but I worry about that.
Thanks for some kind words.
Okay. Go keep that hot date, Buster. Coach Sandy Bigelow was even less cooperative, let alone friendly, than his team captain.
I don't take kindly to private snoops annoying my players.
Well, don't complain to me.
Dean Palmer exceeded his powers in hiring you. I'm going before the Board of Trustees.
Meanwhile, let's talk.
I deny every rumor. I've got a bunch of fine kids, straight as a die, every mother's son of them.
I picked up this morning's paper on the way over. A columnist named Soapy Slater gets off a few remarks.
Soapy Slater? Why, the man's an irresponsible muckraking...
They low down on sports. Let me read you a few lines. Last night's only Blankhurst Van Bursen winner was a betting combine. Wonder who Coach Bigelow really obliged in surprise benching of star forward Wisnowski.
Tyranny by innuendo. But I'm thick-skinned, Craig. In 20 years of coaching, I've developed a rhinoceros hide. I pay no attention to columnists.
Well, why did you bench Wisnowski?
He's a show-off. He's in the race for highest scoring honors in the National Basketball. And all he thought about was swelling his total. Also, he was playing to his girl in the stands. She'd flown in from Dubuque to see her hero in action. You understand my benching him now?
Yes, I do. I'm going to ask you some blunt questions, Coach.
Fire away.
You suspect any of your players of dumping?
Not a one.
As far as you know, has any player or players suddenly taken on a prosperous look, like free spending, clothes, girls, convertibles?
There's been absolutely nothing like that. Well, do you have any other blunt questions?
Yeah, a hard one to ask. You probably take a punch at me.
Yeah, I know the question you intend asking. Am I crooked? Am I dumping games by cleverly mishandling my team? Am I getting a payoff somewhere?
I've heard it whispered.
Oh, why? You hear it whispered wherever basketball is played these days. Because one or two crooked teams have been exposed, the rest of us bear the brunt. We have to pay for our innocence.
Then, for the record, you denounce the rumors around about you.
You're tempting me to throw that punch.
Sunday in a college town is a day of cemetery quiet. I checked into the nearest recreation lounge. The joint was the annex to a hotel, the Hotel Olympia. I had a key to room 222. The bartender, drink, please. You decide what. I want to be surprised. I was halfway through a drink advertised as Campus Conniption, 99 cents, when a gent came close enough to breathe on me. He looked more of a stranger in town than me. Beefy jowls, a stick pin with a diamond the size of a walnut, and yellow shoes. His kisser was not unfamiliar.
Hello, Craig. Place a face?
Yes. I didn't know the circus was in town.
The New York joke's out of place here.
So are you, Smiley.
I got a sister living here in town. I'm visiting.
Why?
Well, sit down. I'll tell you why.
Okay. I'm tingling with expectancy.
You'll be tingling all right when you see what I got for you. Here. For your old age.
Well, what's inside the brown wrapping?
$1,000 in 20s.
For me?
For you.
For what?
For nothing. And I got something else for you. Let's see. Yeah, here in my vest pocket. For you, Craig, my compliments.
A railroad ticket.
One way, clear to Times Square. One look at you at the bar, I knew you were homesick. Your train's in an hour. Give my regards to Broadway.
Very sorry, Smiley.
You're gonna be foolish?
I am.
The boys and me are making a buck. What's it to you?
Nothing. That's a job for the authorities. I'm here to crack down on fixing and fixers. Stop the corruption of a basketball squad.
And you're here for nothing, Craig. There's nothing to it. No fix, no bribing players.
You expect me to believe that?
Sounds corny to say, I know, but we haven't been able to reach a player. We try, but no dice.
And why try so hard to ship me home?
We're running lucky. We don't want a jinx. So the boys made up a pool. $1,000. Get rid of you. They don't want no evil eye. If you don't grab the G, you're a sap.
Put it back in your pocket, Smiley. Morning begins early in Hicktown. I've been in bed 7 hours, eyes wide open. Hotel rooms have that effect on me. I mean, flowered wallpaper has. State who you are.
This is Soapy Slater of the Herald-Gazette. Good morning.
It will be in 2 hours.
Rise and shine. It's 7 o'clock.
Oh, do I hate cheerful early risers.
Mr. Craig, can I see you?
Why?
Something pertinent to your work on behalf of Dean Palmer.
Oh.
In an hour, say?
Well, since I'm now doomed to stay awake.
At your hotel, then, I'll join you at the breakfast table.
Good enough. Soapy Slater really did have vital, confidential information.
Coffee's good. Now, at least 3 games were dumped by Blankhurst U.
Well, give me concrete proof.
I've got another kind of proof.
Guesswork's no good, Slater. Let's not be callous about the reputations and futures of a lot of young men.
Oh, I respect your sensitivity there. I hate to see any young man stigmatized, but suppose my criminal information doesn't concern any of the young men.
None of the players?
No player, just the coach.
Sandy Bigelow?
Sandy Bigelow, yes. Now, if you'll listen...
Shoot.
I'm a newspaper man. I have sources of information.
Now, get down to it. What information did you receive about Sandy Bigelow?
That he was seen consorted with gamblers in an out-of-the-way roadhouse called the Blue Lantern, run by Gussie Daniels. Now, drive out and talk to Gussie, why don't you? You'll find her very frank and cooperative.
What else against Sandy Bigelow?
I have information that Bigelow made a substantial cash deposit in his bank account, the Craigmore Savings Bank. That's a bank in another county, mind you. A fact significant in itself.
Who could tip you to the status of Bigelow's bank account?
I'm going to be evasive about that, Craig.
Somebody connected with the bank, huh? An official or a teller?
I'm not answering that.
Now, why are you giving me these facts against Sandy Bigelow?
To expedite your investigation.
To hurry Bigelow into jail?
To accomplish that, yes.
Why not use the facts yourself for an expose feature? You're a newspaper man.
I tried to. My paper refused to use it. I'll write the story from the police blotter when you file arrest charges against Bigelow.
In the Craigmore Savings Bank, 70 miles across the county line, I persuaded the bank manager to give me a detailed memorandum on Bigelow's savings account. Persuading the bank manager meant unraveling a lot of red tape, satisfying bank policy and protocol, but I got what I was after. My next stop was the Blue Lantern. The owner, Gussie Daniels, was the Amazon type who could lick her weight in men, and probably did, from the looks of her patrons. Her answers were frank and cooperative.
He was in here, all right, that Bigelow. Over in that corner there, trying not to look conspicuous.
Bigelow was in here frequenting with gamblers.
Nose to nose, talking to him over beer and pretzels.
Can you identify particular gamblers you saw Bigelow with?
All that New York crowd. I had a state cop name a few for me. One named Johnny Minton. Oh, mean looker. Another named Richie Silk. Crazy about my cheese mix and potato chips, that one. And a third with a funny name that sounds like Bongo or something.
Bozo the Bull?
Yeah, that's it. I had a bad stomach. Never ate or drank anything in here.
Bozo the Bull served time last year for fixing a Midwest basketball game.
Well, he's right here up to his fixing tricks. And Bigelow's in with him.
How often would you say Bigelow was in here?
Well, it's twice that I've seen him, and there are nights when I'm not here. That's Wednesday and Friday when I'm babysitting from a married daughter. Ada May, that's my daughter. I'm a grandmother.
Oh, great. Buy a drink, Gussie?
Sure you can. Buttermilk.
Before making a cause celeb of the coach, I had a talk with him. Circumstances could be damning on their face, yet untrue. I've been a cop too long not to know that. Bigelow tried explaining his meetings with known gamblers.
I've nothing to be ashamed of. I sought those certain gentry out in order to warn them.
Warn them of what?
To keep away from my boys. You see, there'd been anonymous phone calls to Wisnowski and to Chris Ransom. Open hints of offered bribes. And both Wisnowski and Ransom reported the incidents to me. I told them to say nothing.
So you met with the gamblers discreetly to tell them all?
I threatened them with police action if they ever bothered my boys again. Well, you believe me, Craig?
Frankly, I'm not sure I do. Why do you bank 70 miles away in Craigmore?
Well, habit. I used to coach Cragmore College back in 1950, 5 years ago. I never canceled or transferred my bank account, that's all.
What's your balance there now?
My balance? Well, it's about $1,200, I'd say. Why?
Got your bank book handy?
Why, no. In fact, I don't have it at all. It's been missing for months. Mislaid or lost or...
I see. Suppose I told you that your balance is more like, Wait, I have a bank memorandum on it with me. Here, have a look. You're up to $6,000, Bigelow.
Well, that's impossible.
Bet deposits made periodically since the start of the basketball season. Well, what's your answer?
Craig, somebody's out to incriminate me. Smear me. A frame-up. I haven't made a deposit in my Cragmore account in almost a year.
Now, you're not really asking me to believe a trick was worked on you, where, say, your bank book was stolen so that sneak deposits could be made, swelling your savings account.
Well, if that slip you showed me is actually so, yes, I am asking you to believe exactly that.
Character assassination through frame-up. I postponed judgment on Coach Bigelow for the time being. And pretty soon, events justified my discretion there. The team captain, Chris Ransom, had again been contacted by the gambling mob. And this time, Bigelow brought his boy to me.
A man named Smiley. He spoke to me in Leary's drugstore.
How much did he offer you?
$5,000. To be divided between myself and one other player I could recruit. He suggested I talk to Wisnowski.
Which game does the mob want dumped?
The last one on our schedule. Against Barnaby Tech.
Oh, Bigelow.
Yes, Craig?
How does Blankhurst U compare with Barnaby Tech?
Well, we've beaten them 3 years running by margins of 20 points or more.
Meaning Blankhurst U should enter the game and odds-on favorite.
Oh, I should say so, yes.
The mob wants to bet Barnaby Tech heavy and make a final killing. Okay. We'll accept the bribe.
Accept? Now, you wait a minute, Mr. Craig.
To teach the mob a bitter lesson, where it hurts most, in the pocketbook. You will accept the bribe, Ransom. Promise to dump the game along with Wisnowski, and then play your fool heads off. Trim Barnaby Tech from here to Timbuktu. The game against Barnaby was played as scheduled. Wisnowski and Chris Ransom played the best ball of that or any other year. They scored almost at will. At the final whistle, the score was 76-38, favoring Blankhurst. I've never seen a more shattered bunch than that gambling clique. They looked as if the specter of the breadline haunted them. The Blankhurst team got a rising ovation. I was in the offices of the Herald Gazette the following a.m. I read Sophie Slater's column back to me. Question. Was there reverse dumping in last night's Blankhurst-Barnaby game? Why the sudden life to Wisnowski and Ransom? Was it that certain elements required a better than 20-point spread in order to cash in? I'm only asking. Well, Slater?
Well, what?
Why the awful lie?
Is it a lie?
Malicious, deliberate, cowardly. I happen to know this time. Wisnowski and Ransom deliberately cheated cheaters last night. They took bribe money on my say-so, agreed to dump so far as the gamblers were concerned, but instead played to win. Why are you so passionately anxious to smear?
I've got nothing to say.
Then answer this. Why have you been plotting to destroy Coach Bigelow? Destroy him by frame-up.
Bigelow. Bigelow rates everything I can dish out to him. That man isn't human.
Then there's a personal motive against Bigelow. What, Slater? Go on, talk.
Bigelow is a paragon of virtue. Thinks of himself as a god. He sees life as a blackboard maxim. You're either very good or very bad. No shadings in between. If you're very good, he loves and adores you. If you're bad or weak or just a fool, Bigelow will crucify you. No mercy, no quarter, no human understanding.
Who was it so close to you that Bigelow crucified?
My son, Bob. Bob played for Crabmore College once, 8 years ago, when Bigelow coached there. Bob made a slip.
Your son took a bribe.
Yeah. But he didn't go through with his bargain. My son did not dump. But Bigelow never took that into consideration. The fact that my son wrestled with his conscience and won, Bigelow didn't care to hear. He drummed my son out of college basketball.
Your son was Bob Slater.
Bob Quonset. We changed our name to Slater.
There's a meeting today in Dean Palmer's office. Keene, Bigelow, the college trustees, and me. You be there too, Slater. We'll get all the truth there, out in the open. There's a kind of catharsis for everybody. When we're done, we let the police study the minutes of our meeting, decide what action they want to take. You come, huh, Slater? Get it off your chest.
You have been listening to William Gargan in another exciting transcribed mystery drama from the adventures of Barrie Craig, confidential investigator. Tonight's story, Sucker Bait, was written by John Robert. The National Broadcasting Company has just brought you an NBC Radio Network production with William Gargan starring as Barrie Craig, confidential investigator, directed by Andrew C. Love. Our cast included Norman Field, Jess Kirkpatrick, John Stevenson, Joe Forte, and Gloria Ann Simpson. Monitor takes you everywhere this Sunday on NBC Radio.
Welcome back. Some of the historical context can be helpful in explaining and understanding the reason this subject matter was chosen. In 1951, there was a scandal, point-shaving scandal at City College of New York. It was a huge scandal when it occurred. It led to the arrest of several players, and what made this so unique was that they had been a 1950 NCAA men's basketball champion. So throughout the 1950s, you'll see plots centering around point shaving and other cooperation with gamblers. This one was somewhat unusual as as we're dealing with actual losses as opposed to just not winning by quite as much. And in some ways, this episode was kind of going on that same thought and overall thrust. But on another level, it was also kind of ironically, almost pushing against it, saying, no, not every college in basketball is somehow corrupt or have some scandal. And I thought it was told in a good way, even giving the reporter a reasonable motivation for what he was doing. And I think that it was just a very well-told story, showing the overall strength and talent of the writers of Barrie Craig. Well, that will actually do it for today. We will be back tomorrow with Pete Kelly's Blues, but a week from tomorrow we'll have another series for you to enjoy, Leonidas Witherall. So be sure to join us for that a week from Tuesday, and then join us back here on next Monday for the last episode we have in circulation of Barrie Craig, Confidential Investigator. Well, today's episode is brought to you by the support of our listeners. Thank you so much for your support. I want to especially thank Michael Galea, who sent along a really nice donation, and We appreciate so much support, and for all donations of $7 or more, we send along access to our premium site, which includes all the extras we do for both Great Detectives and for Dragnet. All right, well, now it's time for today's episode, our very last Pete Kelly's Blues from September 19th of 1951. Here now is June Gould.
This one's about Pete Kelly. It's about the world he goes around in. It's about the big music, and the big trouble, and the big 20s. So when they ask you, tell them this one's about the blues. Pete Kelly's Blues. Pete Kelly's Blues, starring Jack Webb, with story by Joe Eisinger and music by Dick Kepner.
My name's Pete Kelly. I play cornet. You'll find us at 417 Cherry Street, Kansas City, on the Missouri side. It's a standard speakeasy. The slot in the front door is regulation size, just wide enough to frame a suspicious eye, and the bottoms of the shot glasses aren't quite thick enough to reach the top. It's a well-run, orderly crib, the kind of a place the local prohibition agents can bring their wives to. The lease is owned by George Lupo. He's a fat, friendly little guy who always has his hand in his pocket. We start grinding every night about 10, and we play till Lupo runs out of inventory. But that's all right with us. He lets us play the kind of music we like. And on the breaks, he doesn't care how many nickels we throw into the pianola. Our nickels, his pianola. We were winding up the second set last night when Little Izzy came in. Little Izzy's a cab driver who's been working the joints up and down Cherry Street. He's carted more drunks than Lupo ever counted in his wildest dreams, and once a week he lights a candle to Mr. Volstead. But last night, Little Izzy wasn't hauling a lush. She was a white-haired, gentle old lady, the motherly type that Mary Carr plays in Over the Hill. She looked around the crib nervous and bewildered as Little Izzy eased her down at the small table near the bar. He smiled at her as gently as Little Izzy can smile and started for the bandstand. Hi, Izzy. How's the taxi business?
Yesterday I picked her up, and I've been hauling her ever since, from barrel house to barrel house, from crib to crib. What's she looking for? A girl. What girl? Her daughter. Who's her daughter? A singer. What's her name? June Gould.
June Gould.
You know her? You know this nail?
Yeah, she's a beautiful girl. I haven't heard about her for almost a year. She used to sing over at Morey.
So where's she now? You know her? Where's she now?
I don't know.
6-2-0. Every crib we hit, yeah, sure, I remember June Gould, but where's she now? 6-2-0.
Well, look, maybe I can... Look, Izzy, tell the old woman to wait. Maybe I can send up a flare.
Oh, thanks, Petey boy, I got it. So good.
All right.
Pete?
Let's go. Yeah, Red.
That June Gould, beautiful gal.
Yeah.
Ever hear Nails Norton?
Yeah.
Used to torch for her with a 1,000-watt torch.
So?
So she wouldn't give him the coffee that spilled in her saucer.
So?
I wouldn't go asking around about it.
So let's do the number, huh?
So sure.
All right. Whispering, good and bright. Here we go. Everybody ready? All right. All right. Take 5. Use some nickels, huh, Red?
Oh, man, that Lupo, he's going to get rich off us.
Petey, this is Mr. Gould.
How do you do, Miss Gould?
Mr. Gould, this is Pete Kelly.
Mr. Kelly.
Mr. Kelly here said he'll take care of everything for you, Mrs. Gould.
Well, I didn't exactly say
Your
that.
worries are over now, Mrs. Gould, so I'll leave you with Mr. Kelly and good luck.
No, Izzy, wait a minute. Wait.
Mr. Kelly, I don't know how to thank you. You've given me new hope. I was ready to.
Sure, all right. Now, come on. It's going to be all right, Miss Gould. Don't cry.
I'm sorry. But it's so hard to...
Well, come on now. Let's unglue it. Tell me about it, huh?
Well, my little girl, June, she was always a very beautiful child. We lived alone in Cleveland. Her father died when she was a baby. She always had a lovely voice. She came here to Kansas City to get a start as a singer.
When was this?
2 years ago. Last I heard, she was working in a place called Morey's.
Uh-huh.
She would write to me every week. Always send me a check for support. Oh, she's a good girl, Mr. Kelly. And I'm so worried.
How long haven't you heard from her?
Oh, it's been more than 6-7 months now. No letters at all. But each week a money order. But no letter.
Each week you get a money order? From her?
Well, I don't know. There's no letter, no name. Just a money order to support me. And I finally saved enough to come here to look for her.
Yeah, I see.
Oh, I've tried everything, Mr. Kelly.
Yeah. All right, you wait here, Mrs. Gould. I'll buzz around. Maybe I can come back with some answers for you.
And, Mr. Kelly.
Yeah.
I beg you to promise me. No matter what the answers are, you tell me the truth.
Yeah, sure. Well, the way I figured it, I could have told her the truth then, without even leaving the joint. But it wasn't easy. Not when you looked into her eyes. But where were the money orders coming from? Well, I had to make a pass at it, so I borrowed Red's Erskine coupe, drove out to the edge of town where Morey's country club balanced itself neatly on top of a well-kept hill. Nobody could get into Morey's front door unless he showed a white tie. I got in through the kitchen and made for Morey's private office up on the second floor.
Yes?
Can I buy a minute of your time, Morey?
Come in, Pete. What can I do for you?
You remember a singer who worked for you, June Gould?
Yes? A cigar?
No, no thanks.
June Gould. I remember June Gould. Why?
You got an idea where she is now?
Why?
Well, I'm trying to get a line on her.
Why?
For her mother. She's in town looking for her.
I heard.
She see you?
She tried.
You wouldn't see her?
No.
Why not?
I had no information for her.
You got some information for me?
No information. But if you ask me, do I have advice, maybe that I got.
Like what?
Like stay away from this old lady, Kelly, or maybe you'll never live to be as old as she is.
Yeah, I see. Thanks. Morey?
Yeah?
Is Nails Norton still in town?
You know something, Kelly?
Yeah.
I can't figure how you live to be as old as you.
And that did it. As clearly as he could, Morey was trying to tell me to go back to Lupo's, pick up my horn, and blow myself to a comfortable old age. And I agreed with him. That was the smart thing for me to do. Go back to 417 and forget all about June Gould. So I hustled the Erskine back downtown, cut across the 12th Street Bridge to the Kansas side, jolted down Boulder Road to Fat Annie's place and Maggie Jackson. Maybe more than a few people in town knew what had happened to June Gould, but if there was anybody who knew and who would tell me, it'd be Maggie Jackson. Maggie was just going into a number when I walked in.
You're just in time, Pete. I need some strong support.
Hi, Maggie.
How about helping me through one course of What Have I Done?
I didn't bring my horn.
How about Artie Hamilton's? He's in the back room. He won't mind. Here.
Well, okay. Wait a minute. You better let me try an A here. It's a little loud. Just a minute. Okay, just a second. All right, I guess we can try it.
All right. What have I done?
But now I'm bluer. Wish I knew wherever you were. What have I done to make you do this to me? Can't we do a little teamwork? I need you to make my dream work. All I do now is long for your kiss. What have I done to make you do this to me?
Nice, Petey. Thanks a lot.
Sure, Maggie. Here's Artie's horn. Look, Maggie, I need some information. Maybe you got an open line.
What's bothering you, Petey?
Maggie, you ever hear of a gal named June Gould?
June Gould.
Yeah, she worked over at Morey's over on the hill.
Oh, yeah. Tall, flaming red hair with real green eyes.
Yeah.
And a voice like red velvet. Whatever became of her?
That's what I'm trying to find out, Maggie.
Ain't thought about her in a long time. She just dropped out of sight suddenly, like last year's calendar.
Well, you got any idea at all, Maggie? Anything you heard?
No, Petey. Never did know much about that gal. Except she used to bunk with another gal.
Who?
Dancer down at the Cuban casino. Name of Flora Acosta.
Flora Costa, huh? Thanks, Maggie.
Sure. Good luck, Pete.
Well, the Cuban casino is a minor league trap over in Spanish Town. They deal strictly for the natives who are homesick for their own rhythm. Flora Costa was just going into her big finish. I folded myself into a corner and waited. Miss Acosta?
See?
Can I talk to you for a minute?
What is it?
Well, it's kind of noisy out here.
Well, I'm sorry, but I just...
Look, have you heard from June Gould lately?
Come into my dressing room, please.
All right.
Hello, little bird. Oh, you're such a happy little bird. Excuse me, senora. Another costume for my next number.
Sure, it's all right.
Now, tell me, who are you?
Pete Kelly. I play cornet over at 417 Cherry.
Oh, yes. Now I know.
Well, I was told that you used to live with June Gould.
See, that's right.
You know where she is now?
No.
Well, when did you see her last?
Oh, a long time ago. I don't know.
Did she say where she was going?
No, she just pack up and go. Goodbye. Goodbye, Fleur, my darling. She say and she go. That's how she was.
That's how she was?
See.
Not how she is.
Okay?
Well, you said was, like you don't think she is anymore.
Senor, I'm very sorry. You make so much English for me. Hello, little bird. Such a happy little bird.
Yeah. Do you know any of her boyfriends?
Boyfriend?
Yeah.
Oh, gee, she has lots of boyfriends. Also many.
Nails Norton?
See?
One of her boyfriends. Nails Norton?
I'm sorry, senor.
Yeah, I know. I make too much English for you.
Well, she had so many boyfriends. It's very confusing.
Did you meet any of them?
Believe me, senor, it's so confusing.
Yeah, do you remember any of her
She
boyfriends?
packed all her bags and she said, goodbye, Fleur. Goodbye, my darling. I'm going to be a bride.
She was going to be married?
See, that's it, married.
Who is he?
See?
The man she was going to marry.
Oh, he's a very rich man, and she loves him very much. And she's so happy. Goodbye, Fleur, she said. Goodbye, my darling.
Yeah, I know. Now, what's his name?
His name Bishop. You have in English the name Bishop?
Bishop?
See, Tom Bishop. Very rich man.
Do you know where he lives?
In a big house, a very rich house.
The street?
Well, I don't know, but a very rich street.
Yeah, well, thanks.
Senor.
Yeah.
How you come to me with all these questions? You make me very sad, very worried about my friend. You think she's all right?
Sure.
You will please let me know, senor? I would be very sad, very worried about her.
Sure.
Thank you, senor. Hello, little bird. Such a happy little bird.
Well, I left the happy little bird and found me a city directory. Thomas Bishop, Vice President, Grundy Savings Bank and Loan. Residence, 440 North Camberwell. Well, the house was set well back from the street, surrounded by an ornate iron fence and $1 million worth of shrubbery. I made the long trip to the front door on foot, punched the door buzzer.
Yes?
Mr. Bishop?
Yes.
My name's Pete Kelly. Is Mrs. Bishop at home?
What do you want with her?
Her mother's in town.
Her mother?
Yeah, she'd like to see her.
Are you sure you have the right bishop?
You're Thomas Bishop, aren't you?
Yes, but my wife's mother is dead.
You sure?
Of course I'm sure. I buried her.
You buried her?
10 years ago. I'm sorry, young man. You must have the wrong bishop.
No, I got the right bishop, but the wrong wife. What'd you do with June Gould?
Be quiet.
Afraid your wife will hear?
What do you want?
I want to know what happened to June Gould.
Please, Mr. Kelly, not here.
Police headquarters suit you better?
I beg you, come away from the house.
All right. Now, come on, tell me about it.
Mr. Kelly, I assure you...
I don't want assurances. I want information. Where's June Gould?
I don't know.
You were going to marry her?
It was a misunderstanding.
You mean you already had a misunderstanding wife, huh?
June knew I was married, but we loved each other. We were going to run away.
And what happened?
I don't know.
Now, come on, you're going to have to do better than that.
We decided we'd made all the arrangements, and I never saw her again. I never heard from her. I searched everywhere, tried everything, but without success. Please believe me, Mr. Kelly. I'm telling you the honest truth.
And you never got a line on her? No lead at all?
Nothing. Except a vague rumor that she'd been seen with a man named Maxie Finn.
Maxie Finn? The two-bit bookie?
Yes. I was shocked when I learned what he is. I couldn't believe that she would...
Yeah, leave the great Mr. Bishop for a mouse like Maxie Finn? That's what needled you, huh?
No, Mr. Kelly. I don't blame you for thinking that. But the truth is, I loved her. She was the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen. And for the first time in my life, You see, I married when I was very young, calculatingly, to put myself ahead in the world. Well, my marriage gave me what I thought it would, great financial success. But I didn't realize I was only living half a life until I met June.
Yeah. Did you talk to Finn?
No, not directly. But I did have communication with him.
Cautious type, huh?
Yes. But for June Gould to spend the rest of whatever life I have left with her, I was ready to throw away all caution.
You asked Finn about her?
Yes.
What word did he send back?
Only two. Dropped dead.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to buy your story, but if it doesn't hang together, I'll be back for another one. Well, I knew where to find Maxie Finn, at the dice table in back of Sartori's garage. I pointed the Erskine for downtown KC. Maybe Bishop's story would hang together, and maybe it wouldn't. Traffic in back of Sartori's garage was heavier than out front. The crap table was getting a big play. I spotted Maxie Finn's pasty face hanging over the $1 line.
And the number is 5. Make the point or break the joint. And the man throws. Days in the week, pass the dice to make some ice. All right, get aboard, boys. Get aboard. Get aboard.
I got to talk to you.
I'm on the roll.
And the dice read. Days in the week, 7 the man's down. Pass the dice to make some ice. Everybody wins. Everybody plays. Lay it on the line. We pay it on the line.
Nothing but throwouts, all.
All right, let's get over here, Finn. It's important.
What's your problem, Kelly?
Right or wrong, I go along.
All right, Kelly, I'm on the sock. My arm's cooling off. What's the hustle?
June Gould.
What?
June Gould.
You lost me.
You sent word the Bishop dropped dead.
I send you the same.
All right, come on. What happened to June Gould, Maxie?
To me, you read like boxcars. Goodbye, Kelly.
Come here. Now, where is she? All right, come on. What'd you do to her?
Nothing. I see her for maybe a couple of months, that's all.
Why didn't she meet Bishop?
She never said.
Where'd she go after she left you?
I don't know.
But you got a pretty good idea.
You got all I know. All right. Maybe I can get a line. I'll call you. I'll try and I'll call you.
All right, at Lupo's.
Yeah, I promise. At Lupo.
Just to make sure you keep your promise, Maxie, here's a nickel. If you don't use it, I'll be back to take it away from you. Well, I had to leave it that way. I knew that by pushing Maxie Finn around, I'd started something in motion. There'd have to be a reaction. Back at 417, I found Mrs. Gould right where I'd left her. She looked up at me anxiously as I went over to her table.
Any news, Mr. Kelly?
I'm waiting for word now, Mrs. Gould.
Do you think that...
Miss Gould, I don't think. This is the time for waiting. It's the toughest time of all. Where are you stopping?
The Jefferson Hotel.
All right, now look, you go back there.
Oh,
no, don't argue. No use sitting in this trap the rest of the night. Get yourself some rest. I'll call you as soon as I get word.
All right, Mr. Kelly. I'll do as you say. Somehow I feel you're the only one who could help me.
All right, Miss Gould. Bye. All right, let's hold it down. Hold it down.
Come on, Petey, let's get with it. We lost all our business without a nickel.
All right. What's up?
Blues and B flat.
All right, I'll give you the pickup.
Petey.
Yeah.
Nails Norton. Heading this way.
Yeah.
Kelly.
Yeah?
Come down off of there.
What for?
This. Now you forget all about June Gould, see? Next time I drop you, you won't get up ever.
Well, I pulled myself together from all corners of the joint, raced for the Erskine, walloped it downtown to Sartori's garage. I felt no pain, nothing but a wild, flaming anger. I had all my connections, from Maggie to Flora, to Bishop to Finn to Nails. Finn to Nails Norton. Finn kept his promise all right. He'd used the nickel, but not to call me. The crap game was still hot, but Maxie Finn had lammed. I tore around town and finally caught up with Finn in the back room at Joe Donegan. He saw me coming, turned a dirty gray, and tried to duck out the back. He never made it. The first word I threw at him was a right from the floor. All right, Maxie.
Please, Kelly. Stop it, Kelly, stop it.
All right. You called Nails Norton.
I had to.
You told him I'm looking for June Gould. Now give me the truth.
725 Baltimore.
Louder.
June. 725 Baltimore. The truth, Kelly, the truth. 725, room 6.
All right, Maxie. If you ain't leveling this time, I'll break you in two. 725 Baltimore was only 3 traffic violations away from Joe Donegan. It wasn't much of a place and never was. I found room 6 on the second floor. I rapped on the door and waited. I rapped again. The door was opened wide. First thing I saw across the room was something propped up in a chair. It was all wrapped up in a quilted bathrobe that the house dog probably refused. Long, lifeless hair straggled down onto the shoulders. It must have been a woman, but I wouldn't swear to it in a court of law. You couldn't tell by the face, a mass of gnarled, scarred tissue, the mouth pulled into a permanent fixed grin. A bottle of gin was held on a broomstick hand. The first shock over, I looked at the man behind the door. That was the second shock, the one I didn't get over. Nails Norton.
All right, Nails. Tell him to come all the way in.
Go ahead.
You got a strong stomach, Kelly? Because if you ain't, you better look the other way. Nails here. He's got a good, strong stomach, ain't you, Nails?
Yes. June.
Yeah, I'm June. June Gould, the beauty.
Yeah.
Well, you finally found me, Kelly. So take a good look. Let me remember on those long nights when you can't sleep.
What happened?
Wants to know what happened there.
Isn't good for you, dear. Let me take you
No,
out.
I'll tell him. Acid. That's what happened.
Who?
I'm Bishop's wife.
But he doesn't know.
Nobody knows. Except his wife, Maxie Finn and Nails. Now you. Yeah. She knew about me and Tom. He came before I could meet him with the acid.
We never did anything to her. Never.
What could I do that would give me back my face? No, let her live with it. Maxie Finn, he found me like that, took care of me. All the while Nails here, he was looking for me. Nails, he always cared for me, didn't he, Nails?
Yes.
Now Nails takes good care of me. Sees that I have everything I need. And all I need is a quart a day. All I need and all I want. Nails is a good boy. He even sends my mother money every week. He's a good boy.
She's in Kansas City, your mother.
Yeah, we heard. Why Nails tried to stop you.
Well, why don't you? You could write to her.
No, letters can be traced.
But she's worried sick about you. If you could only let her know.
What? Let her know what? You think I want to let her see me like this? You think she...
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, Kelly. You found me. Tell her. Bring her to see me. Make the rest of her days happy.
Yeah.
Kelly,
Yeah.
what are you going to do?
Apologize to Maxie Finn.
Pete Kelly's Blues, starring Jack Webb, with story by Joe Eisinger and music by Dick Cathcart. Scoring by Matty Matlock.
The music of Pete Kelly's Big Seven consists of Dick Cathcart on cornet, Matty Matlock on clarinet, Nick Patul on drums, Ray Sherman on piano, George Van Ness on guitar, Judd Bernard on bass, Mo Schneider on trombone. The songs of Maggie Jackson were written by Arthur Hamilton. Pete Kelly's Blues is a presentation of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service.
Welcome back. Well, this was probably the most detective-like episode. Pete Kelly got a little tough here, mainly in pursuit of the mother's interest. It kind of left us at the end with an open question as to whether he would tell the mother. Yes, he said he was going to apologize, but I think that could, there's some different ways to take that. He could just be apologizing to the thug because, he kind of understood now where the thug was coming from. I think definitely that the mother, would want to know the truth. I think the most difficult thing would be to have a mystery as to what happened to her daughter. But definitely kind of end on the downbeat. But I think that we're going to change the tone and tempo and pace a little bit next week when we have Leonidas Witherall. As we go back to 1944 for a detective comedy mystery. So join us for that. We turn now to listener comments. Schubert said, regarding Pete Kelly's Blues, didn't know it was Jack Webb. Love Jack Webb and Dragnet and Pat Novak. Well, I'm glad we're able to show you a different side, a different sort of Jack Webb performance here. And then we also have this. Over on iTunes, Roberts writes, for those who are bothered by commercials or narrative, the app is offered at iTunes for $1.99, I believe. Also, there are other vintage apps that offer a plethora of shows in every genre imaginable. Personally, I have a real passion for old radio programs, a nice change of pace from TV, whereas radio listening and imagination is required. A nice exercise today for those possessing little or none of the attention span. Well, thanks, Robert. I should clarify regarding the app that you still get the commentaries in the commercials with the app on the regular episodes. However, I also post a lot of extra shows there, old-time radio programs that usually just take a look at our detective actors in a different role. We've had dramas, comedies, things like that, and that we include commentary but omit ads on the extra shows because it came with something you paid for. Only things that come without any ads other than those that were originally inserted are on occasion I'll share with you a show that I found that I'm going to do in the future and give you kind of a chance to preview it if you've got the app. So thanks so much for the comment, Robert. And that will actually do us for today. We'll be back tomorrow with Let George Do It. And then join us back here on Tuesday for our first excursion with Leonidas Witherall. Today's episode is brought to you by the support of our listeners, and I want to especially thank Joe, who sent along a donation. Thank you so much, and we'll be sending along access to our premium site, which we do with all donations of $7 or more. All right, well, now it's time to get into today's episode of Let George Do It. This one is called No Way Out.
Personal notice. Danger's my stock and trade. If the job's too tough for you to handle, you've got a job for me, George Valentine. Write full details.
Standard Oil Company of California invites you to Let George Do It. For the kind of driving you do where you do it, your engine needs a gasoline with many different performance qualities. That's why Chevron Supreme gasoline was designed to give you not one, not two, but all 8 high-performance qualities. Starting, warm-up, acceleration, anti-knock, vapor lock prevention, mileage, power, and area blending. They're all yours in every gallon of Chevron Supreme gasoline at standard stations and independent Chevron gas stations where they say and mean, we take better care of your car. No Way Out, another adventure of George Valentine.
Dear Mr. Valentine, I guess I need your help as much as anybody ever did. I'm scared. I'm in something up to my neck and I want to get out of it. But if I do, I'll be killed. And if I don't, I'll probably be arrested. I live at 1003 Ransom Place, but don't come there. Please meet me in Morgan Park tomorrow noon. I'll be sitting on the 3rd bench inside the Rand Street entrance. And please don't act as though you knew me, or something bad might happen to both of us. Yours truly, Larry Baker.
Third bench. Oh, there he is, George.
Yeah, must be our boy, all right, Brooksy. Let's park on the other end of the bench.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
Mind if we sit down here?
Oh, help yourself.
Thanks, Larry.
That's all right. Oh. You're George Valentine?
Yeah, that's right. This is Miss Brooks.
Don't look like you're talking to me. Act like you're talking to her.
Brother, you are scared. Okay. Brooksy, I'd just like to know what this is all about.
I think Larry's going to tell us, George.
Yeah, but I got to make it fast.
All right, make it fast, but start from the beginning.
I will. I was working in a lunchroom, short order cook, making $42.50 a week.
Yeah, go on.
A man who'd been coming in once in a while talked to me one day. Said he was opening up a dry cleaning place. And how would I like to manage it?
That sounds like a good break, doesn't it, George?
At $200 a week.
Wow, I'll say it's a good break.
Keep looking at your girl. I don't know who's watching. If they knew I'd told anybody, they'd kill me.
Okay. Brooksy, I wonder why they'd want to kill Larry.
I'll tell you. A couple of weeks after I took the job, a fella came in and said that every few days a man would leave a package at the shop. I was to hide it overnight. And the next day, another man would be in to pick it up.
George, that store must be a front of some kind.
That's what I mean. And the man told me if I said anything to anybody about it, the boss would see to it that I'd be bumped off so fast I wouldn't know what... Wait a minute.
What's the trouble?
That guy walking up this way. Hold it. Make love to your girl. Act like you're engaged or something.
Well, this is an opportunity I didn't expect. Put your arms around me, George, darling.
Okay. Look, Angel, what's wrong with Santa Barbara for our honeymoon? I know a nice little place.
All right, Bunny. I'll go anywhere you want to go. Because any place would be wonderful for a honeymoon as long as I'm with you, Bunny.
Gosh, that's swell of you, Angel. You're wonderful. Bunny yet. Couldn't you think of any other name to call
We'll
me?
talk about the honeymoon later. He's gone, Larry.
Yeah, I know.
All right, then. Let's have the rest of it. Have you been getting these packages?
Not yet, Mr. Valentine. Another man came in yesterday and said the first one would be delivered to me this afternoon at 4 o'clock. That's why I wrote to you.
Uh-huh. Well, we'd better be there to see what your man looks like. What's the address of your shop, Larry?
It's 119 Murray Street. But look, you can't be in the shop. They'd suspect something.
We won't come in. We'll look on from across the street.
Mr. Valentine, I know this is something crooked. And if the police get onto it, I'll be arrested. I tried to quit, but they wouldn't let me. There's no way out. This man said I'd have to do what they tell me to, or...
Just take it easy, Larry. We'll try and find your way out.
Larry, I'm sorry I'm late with your sandwiches, darling.
That's all right, baby. I got another half hour before I have to go back and open up the shop. Sit down.
Okay, darling. Oh, Larry, what's the matter?
Don't look now, baby. But the people on the other end of the bench are Mr. Valentine and Miss Brooks.
Oh, you told them?
Yeah. I guess they're going to try to help us.
Oh.
Don't you look either, Mr. Valentine. This is my wife, Sally.
I saw her coming up the path, George. She's sweet.
He's okay himself, Angel. Yeah, I think we'd better be across the street from Larry's shop at 4 o'clock.
George,
Yeah, Brooksy.
just how long do you think we can sit here in your car in a loading zone without getting a ticket?
Just where do you think is a better place to watch what goes on over there in Larry's cleaning shop? Besides, if I get a ticket, Johnson will fix it.
What's Lieutenant Johnson got to do with this case?
Nothing yet. But I've got a notion that if we can't find some way to help Larry out of his mess, Johnson will have something to do with it.
Oh, Larry seems like such a nice boy. I hope...
Wait a minute, Brooksy.
What?
That big black sedan that just pulled up in front of the shop.
Oh. Man getting out with some suits to be cleaned. Oh, but that wouldn't be a package. Larry said...
Angel, does anyone have to carry a package in plain sight to prove he's got one?
Oh, I see what you mean. He's gone in.
Yeah, what time is it?
It's, 5 after 4.
Uh-huh.
George, what are you writing?
License number of that car. I suspect anyone who goes in there.
But, darling, it's a big car. The man's wearing a chauffeur's uniform. Probably someone just sent him in
With some suits to be cleaned, yeah. That could be a good cover-up if this is a hot racket.
What could it be? Narcotics?
Narcotics, smuggled stuff, plain payoff, who knows?
He's coming out again, George.
Yeah, that didn't take long.
Well, he was certainly in a hurry.
That's right. Come on, let's get across the shop.
George, the suit you brought.
Oh, yeah. We've got our cover-up, too, haven't we? Let's go.
There's Larry behind the counter.
He's looking just as if he'd seen a ghost. That must have been our man, all right. Hello.
Oh, hello.
Got a suit here to be cleaned. Was that it, Larry?
Yeah.
Did he bring the package?
Yeah.
Well, come on, let's see it.
No. Look, Mr. Valentine, I know you're trying to help me, but I got to think about Sally. If anything goes wrong...
All right. What kind of a package was it?
A big envelope. I don't know what's in it. I'm going to do just like they said, because if anything happens...
I know
to
what
Sally...
you mean. So we'll try it the hard way. What about this man who hired you to run the place?
I don't know anything about him.
Well, he must come in and give you your salary, doesn't he?
No. He sends it to me in the mail.
Uh-huh. What's his name, Larry?
It's Hilton. Sam Hilton. That's what he told me.
Where does he live?
Haven't you got one of the envelopes your pay came in?
Yeah. Yeah, I got one in my pocket.
Well, come on, let's see it.
Oh, I hope nobody catches me showing it to you.
Nobody will. Let's have it.
Well, okay. Here.
Here's a return address, George. Number 6, Berwick Towers.
Uh-huh. Swanky address, all right. Put that down someplace, Angel.
Yeah, I'll get it.
Mr. Valentine, what are you going to do?
Drop in at Berwick Towers?
But don't tell him I said anything.
All right, Larry. Go ahead and do just what you were told to do, and I'll see you tomorrow. Tonight, I'm going to pay a little visit to your boss.
George, Mr. Hilton isn't home, and I'm glad.
Yeah, Angel? Why?
Because I don't know what you could say to him if he were in. Anyway, why did we have to come tonight?
Oh, I don't know. Just a social call.
George!
Yeah. A man who doesn't lock his door deserves visitors. And with my curiosity...
George, we're not going in there.
No, we're not. You're going to stay out here in the hall and stand watch for me.
Darling, sometimes I think your curiosity...
Call out if the enemy approaches, sentry.
Please be careful.
Now, where's the light switch? Up there. Here we are. Well, nice room. And a nice big desk. Might be just full of information. Memo. The boss says to stay out of sight until... Hey, Brooksy. Why'd you turn off that light? I can't see...
I didn't turn it off, George. I'm out here in the hall the way you told me.
Oh.
George, darling, it's me.
Oh. That sounds just like the girl that called me Bunny this afternoon.
Oh, stop. That was because...
And according to the grammar I studied, you don't say it's me, you say it's I.
George, at a time like this. Are you all right, darling?
Oh, sure, Dandy, just fine. Both of my heads are just fine. What happened?
I don't know. I heard you ask me if I turned the lights off, and I said I didn't. Then I heard a kind of a hollow thud.
Yeah, that was on the one head I had then, Angel. Didn't you see anybody?
No, but I heard somebody. It was dark when I came in the room, but I heard somebody running, and a window slammed,
Window?
and then I...
Yeah, window. That one. Probably leads out to the fire escape.
You think Hilton was here all the time, George?
I don't think your hootie hit me. And I also think the man who hired Larry Baker isn't just playing good stuff.
So?
So? I'm going to get back to Larry and Sally. Tell them what they're up against.
Of course, that's a good idea. Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning?
Yes, darling. Or rather, this morning. It's after 1 o'clock now, and the Bakers would be asleep. Besides, I'm a little tired of holding this handkerchief on your head. You'll only need about 4 stitches.
Okay, you win, Angel. But first thing in the morning, I've got to see the Bakers. Because whoever Larry's mixed up with is playing for keeps.
Yes? Yes, just a minute. What do you... Oh, Mr. Valentine. Miss Brooks.
Hello, Sally. May we come in?
Wait, yes, but I...
Don't mind the bandage on Mr. Valentine's head, Sally. Last night he got into a little accident.
Oh.
Has Larry left for work yet?
Sally, what's the matter? What's happened?
Larry's in jail.
In jail? Why?
The police just called me a few minutes ago. A man was shot in the store, and they say Larry did it. Oh, please, Mr. Valentine, can't you help us? I don't know what to do.
All right, Sally, all right. At this point, I don't quite know what to do either. But I told you both yesterday that I'd help you, and I will. Come on, Brooksy. We got to get down to police headquarters.
We'll return to tonight's adventure of George Valentine in just a moment. When you're driving out on the highways this month, you're likely to see an outdoor poster that says, "Battery down, we charge 'em up." And that's Car Saver's way of reminding you during the month of October that for fast, efficient battery service, your independent Chevron gas station or standard station is the place to go. If your battery needs a boost, Car Savers are the people to see. Or if your battery has seen better days and just won't take a charge anymore, then Car Savers are the people to see about a brand new Atlas battery. Atlas is the battery that's packed with power to give you good, fast starting and also supply power for your radio, heater, or other accessories. Atlas batteries are backed by a written warranty that's honored by 38,000 Atlas dealers from coast to coast. And if you're budget-minded like most of us, you'll be glad to know that you can take several months to pay. So next time you're out on the highways, enjoying a ride in the country, or just taking a short trip in your own neighborhood, look for the Car Saver sign that says, "Battery down, we charge 'em up." That's your reminder that for all types of battery service, whether your battery needs a drink of water, a speedy recharge, or even if you need a brand new Atlas battery, the place to go is your independent Chevron gas station or standard station. The people you'll see are car savers, the folks who say and mean, we take better care of your car. And now, back to tonight's adventure of George Valentine. A very frightened young man sends for you because he suddenly found himself right in the middle of some kind of racket. With almost nothing to go on, you set out to help him. Just when you found out that the people he's mixed up with are really playing a rough game, the young man himself is taken to jail for shooting. But if your name is George Valentine, you'd like to talk to your client and find out just what he has to say about it.
I didn't shoot him, Mr. Valentine. You got to believe that.
I didn't say you did, Larry. But if I'm going to help you, I've got to know what you know. Now, who did shoot him?
How can I tell you that? I wasn't there.
All right, now just calm down and tell me what happened.
Well, I went in to open up the shop at 8 o'clock like I was supposed to. When I opened the door, there he was, lying on the floor, groaning and mumbling something about getting a doctor.
What did you do?
I knew he must be hurt bad. And I knew the fastest way to get an ambulance was to call the police, so that's what I did.
I see. Did you know who this man was, Larry?
No. Well, I don't even know what he looked like. He was lying face down on the floor. There was blood all around him. I don't think you're supposed to touch anybody like that until the police come.
The police will find out who he is anyway. Oh, by the way, what about the package you got from that chauffeur yesterday? Was that gone when you got to the shop?
I had it.
You... What?
I was so scared. I thought if I left it in the shop, it might be stolen and I'd be blamed. So I took it home last night and kept it under my pillow. I had it with me when I went in this morning.
Yeah? Where is it now?
Well, it's...
Look, Larry, I know you're frightened about everything. You thought the police might tie you up with that, too. But you'd better tell me.
Well, before the police came, I hid the envelope under the rug in the shop near the big chair.
Okay, good. First thing I'll do is try to get you out of here. Just take it easy.
I don't want to get out now, Mr. Valentine.
Why not?
Well, I'm pretty safe here. But if I get out, they'll be after me. I know they will, and
Valentine.
Lieutenant Johnson.
You've had time enough for the kid. Come on out. I want to talk to you.
Okay. Take it easy, Larry. I'll be back.
Thanks, Mr. Valentine.
All right, Valentine, come on. The kid confess?
Confess? To what?
Oh, look, Valentine, I've got a job to do.
So have I. Did you locate the Sam Hilton that Baker was working for?
No, disappeared. No trace of him.
Find the gun that shot was fired from?
No, but we will. This Baker had plenty of time to hide it someplace before our men got there.
This Baker didn't hide it any place, Johnson, because he didn't do the shooting.
Oh, no?
Oh, no. Got an ident on the guy who was shot yet?
Sure, from his fingerprints. Joe McMath, small-town hood around town. Couple of arrests.
Yeah, that makes sense. You don't mind if we stop in the receiving hospital and have a look at him, do you?
For what? Look, Valentine, you know something you're not telling.
Sure I do, Johnson. I know a kid is being framed, and you're helping to do it. Now, wait till I pick up Brooksy, and then we'll get over to the hospital and have a look at your victim.
Oh, nurse.
Yes? Oh, Lieutenant Johnson.
This the room you've got McMath in?
Yes, that's right.
He conscious yet?
Not yet, sir. He's had a sedative.
What'd the doc say? Will he live?
Oh, yes, he's going to be all right. Bad wound in the shoulder, but he's out of danger.
Thanks. Well, you two wanted to see the victim step in. Though I can't for the life of me see why.
Thanks, Lieutenant. You're so obliging. Come on in, Brooksy.
But, George, I don't...
I don't care for hospitals either, Angel.
Just wanted to prove the man your client shot's still alive, I suppose. Valentine,
Brooksy.
Yes. I know what you mean, George.
Hey, wait a minute. What?
That hospital 90 isn't quite like a chauffeur's uniform. But you couldn't mistake that face. Hey, Johnson.
Look. What are you getting at?
Oh, somehow we connect that face with a big black sedan. Wait a minute. Here it is. Would you mind finding out the registration on this license number?
Huh? No, look, I'm not the Motor Vehicle Bureau.
No, but you might possibly get to be an inspector before you retire for having a wonderful brain. Just check with me at the office when you get the information.
Oh, that must... I'll get it, George.
Okay, Angel.
Hello, George Valentine's office. If the job's tough for you to handle...
Oh, Miss Brooks, will you stop that foolish chatter?
Lieutenant Johnson.
Yeah, let me talk to Valentine.
He's busy right now. May I take the message?
All right, that license number your boss wanted traced.
Yes?
The car's registered to Mike Lazzetti.
Mike Lazzetti?
Big Mike Lazzetti? Hey, Angel, give me that phone. Hello, Johnson.
Yeah? I thought you were busy.
I'm going to be in just a few minutes. And, Lieutenant, maybe you will get to be an inspector.
George, Mike Lazzetti, the big gangster. He owns the car that brought the package to Larry's shop.
That's right, Angel.
So it is a racket.
Right, a big racket. And you can cross off the narcotics and smuggling. That character is strictly a numbers racket, man.
George, where are you going?
Brooksy, I got an idea. I've just discovered that Larry's boss isn't this Sam Hilton at all. So, I'm going to a little office back of a large pool room and see his real boss, Big Mike Lazzetti.
Yeah, come in.
Thanks.
Yeah? Who are you? What do you want?
Well, you see, I'm new in town, Mike. I just come in from Detroit a couple of weeks ago. Name's Gray.
So?
Well, just trying to make a few connections out here, Mike. All of a sudden, I find I'm in a position to do you a little favor. I hope you'll remember me for it.
Anybody does Big Mike a favor gets remembered. What is it?
Well, I guess you heard about a friend of yours getting plugged this morning, Mike. Guy named Joe McMahon.
Yeah, I heard about it. Too bad. Good guy.
Oh, no, never met him. But I guess you know the cops are holding a young guy named Larry Baker for the shooting.
Yeah? What's it got to do with me? Say, who are you, anyway?
I happen to know one of your boys, Sam Hilton.
Yeah?
Yeah. I figured I'd tell Sam about this first, but I couldn't locate him. So I thought I'd better get to you fast.
Well, come on, what is it?
I still get that favor?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. The Baker kid says he didn't shoot McMahon, and the cops can't prove that he did. But he claims something was dropped in the store this morning that'll prove who did.
Huh? Look, friend, you say you want a favor from Big Mike, but you tell me nothing. What you say is nothing.
Yeah? Suppose this Baker punk says one of your boys did it.
Then he's crazy.
Sure. He's crazy as long as he's in jail. But suppose he wasn't in jail.
Wasn't he? You mean he's out?
Not yet, Mike, not yet. But the cops can't get anything on him. They're letting him go. I listen around. I hear stuff, see? I understand he told the cops he'll bring them something that'll pin the rap on somebody.
Yeah? He's not out yet, huh?
Not yet. The way I get it, they're springing him at 2 o'clock this afternoon. I kind of got an idea he might go back to the shop to get that evidence.
Yeah, he might do that.
Yeah. Well, I just thought you might like to know, Mike. I'll come back later for that favor. And don't forget, boss, the name's Gray.
Yeah, fella. Come back in a couple of days. I'll do you a favor.
Thanks.
George, you're all right.
Step on it, Brooksy. Get down to headquarters as fast as you can. I've got to make a deal with Lieutenant Johnson.
Valentine, you're mad, and I'm mad to even consider it.
All right, Johnson, all right. Now, let me ask you this. Have you got any evidence that Larry Baker shot McMahon?
Well, no, not yet. But we will. We can hold him for 72 hours on suspicion.
Of assault with intent to... Yeah, I know. But how'd you like to get the guy who really did the shooting, Johnson, and clean out a big racket at the same time?
Well, sure, How? You think it'll work?
I don't know, Inspector.
Lieutenant.
Oh, sorry. Just looking in my crystal ball, old boy. You see, I'm going on the theory that a big crook can't afford to leave himself in a bad spot. How about it, huh?
Oh, I suppose so. Here's Baker's cell.
Good. Hi, Larry.
Hi, Mr. Valentine.
Come on, they're letting you out of here.
That's right. Come on, son.
But look, Mr. Valentine, I don't want to get out now. I told you.
I know what you told me, Larry. But you're getting out anyway. You're going to leave here at just 2 o'clock. And at 2:15, you're going to be back in your shop.
I don't want to go out. Please, can't you understand? I know what they'll do to me.
Just a minute. Valentine, you've been hiding something. Who are they?
I didn't have any idea until a few minutes ago, Johnson, but I think I do now. And you can't play it any other way. Now, look, Larry, you asked me to help you out of a spot.
Yes, sure I did, but
You won't get hurt. Nothing will happen to you. Just go back to your shop.
Okay, Mr. Valentine. I'll go back to the shop if you say so. But I'm just hoping I'll be around to tell about it tomorrow. Hello? Yeah, that's right. Well, no, I'm sorry. We're not open today. No, I don't know if we'll be open tomorrow either. No. I'm sorry.
Who are you talking to? Hang up that phone.
Yes, sir.
All right. Give it to me.
Give you what? I don't know what you mean. We're not open. There isn't any money.
I don't mean money. You know what I mean. Listen, punk. You came back here to get something you were going to turn over to the cops. I want it. And don't forget you're talking to the boss.
Boss? I don't understand.
Look, don't play dumb because you ain't. Hilton said you was a smart kid. You know what happened to McMath, don't you?
Yeah, but...
Sure you do. I took care of him because he was holding out on me. I brought him in here this morning before you opened the shop so as I could get the payoff, though, but it wasn't here. He didn't leave it like he said he did. He double-crossed me. You see what happens to people that cross Big Mike?
You mean you're the...
Shut up. Now, what did I drop in here this morning? What did you find? Give it to me.
But I haven't got anything I can...
Oh, yeah? Well, maybe this'll convince you. Now, come on, hand it over.
Suppose you hand over that gun, Mike.
Huh?
No tricks, you're covered.
What? This is a trap.
You're right, Mike. It is a trap. And you've already done me that little favor. I'll take the gun.
What? You said you was from Detroit.
Yeah, I know. A little white lie. And the name's Valentine, not Gray. Here you are, Johnson. One shot fired from his gun. And I think the boys in ballistics can tie it up with a bullet that came out of McMath, don't you?
All right. So a guy attacked me and I winged him. Self-defense. They can't send me up for that.
Oh, yes, they can, Mike, when McMath talks. Thing called assault with intent to commit murder.
Oh, and that payoff envelope you thought McMath stole, Mike. Young Larry here hid it under a rug. It's full of names, including yours.
So you see, Busty, you don't have to do me a favor. You're going to do everybody a favor by going up for a good long stretch.
Mr. Valentine, you mean I'm out of this?
That's right, Larry.
Oh, that's great. Except I'm also out of a job. I don't know how to tell Sally.
Well, don't tell her yet. I've got an idea kicking around in the back of my head that, Well, look, Larry, meet me tomorrow noon on that same bench in Morgan Park, huh?
Sure. Okay, Mr. Valentine. I'll be there.
Compared with premium-type motor oils, as designated by the American Petroleum Institute, new RPM motor oil doubles engine life between major overhauls due to lubrication. Your car needs that kind of protection, for new RPM cuts in half the wear rate of critical engine parts. Get new RPM for your car at independent Chevron gas stations or standard stations where they say and mean, we take better care of your car.
Mr. Valentine, you mean I'm going to get to be a cop?
That's right, Larry. At least Lieutenant Johnson has made arrangements for you to go to police school, start out as a rookie. The rest is up to you.
Oh, boy, you don't have to worry about the rest, Mr. Valentine.
I know I don't. Now, suppose you go on home and tell Sally.
I sure will. Thanks for everything. Bye, Miss Brooks.
Bye, Larry. Good luck. George,
Yeah, Angel.
do you realize this is the same park bench we were sitting on when we first talked to Larry Baker?
Oh, yeah, sure.
George,
What?
here comes that same man.
Where? Oh, no. Look, that's not the same
It is
guy.
too, George. Quick, put your arms around me.
Oh, all right, but it's so silly.
Oh, Bunny. I thought we'd have to wait until next year to go on our honeymoon. But I think this is wonderful. Yes, Bunny. I will marry you tomorrow.
Oh, brother, how crafty can you get? Come on, Angel. Let's go get some lunch.
Tonight's adventure of George Valentine has been brought to you by Standard Oil Company of California on behalf of independent Chevron gas stations and Standard stations throughout the West. Robert Bailey is starred as George with Virginia Gregg as Brooksy. Let George Do It was written by Don Clark and directed by Kenneth Webb. Ken Christie was heard as Lieutenant Johnson, Jonathan Holt as Larry, Louise Arthur as Sally, and Ted DeCorsia as Mike. The music is composed and presented by Eddie Dunstetter. Your announcer, John Heaston. Listen again next week, same time, same station, to Let George Do It. Let George Do It is heard overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. This is the Mutual Don Lee Broadcasting System.
Welcome back. Well, Brooksy definitely appreciated this particular client's taste in diversions. That worked out pretty neatly for her in this particular episode. So that great taste continues. We turn now to listener comments and feedback, and H.K. Baker writes on the app review on iTunes. This app makes listening to my favorite podcast even easier. Plus, the purchase helps to support Adam, who's been putting out these shows we love so much faithfully for years without much pay. I love going through each show in order and seeing how they progress. This app has also introduced me to new detectives, and I've learned so much through his commentary. Well, thanks so much, and I'm glad you're enjoying the app. Another comment from great detectives over on Facebook. Bert posted regarding a column I did on one of the Poirot telefilms. How about Bob Bailey and Johnny in Johnny Dollar, or Philip Marlowe or Dragnet? And he adds a couple minutes later, okay, they are all there. I guess sometimes the title of the blog can be a little misleading or confusing, when you see things that don't seem directly related to the to great detectives on old-time radio. One thing we do try to do with the columns is I take kind of a broader approach when it comes to the blog post we do on the weekends. Usually it's in regards either to a mystery or detective show, or it's in regards to something that is in some way classic entertainment. So we've written reviews of classic music, not classic music, but golden age music CDs from Gordon McRae and Jimmy Durante, as well as reviews of some of the other non-detective radio shows. And also some of the more modern detective telefilms, as well as older detective films. So it tends to be a little bit more eclectic. I tend to think that they are things that that some of the listeners who listen to the podcast will enjoy, and it may also be something that people stumble upon and they stay around for the podcast. So hope that explains kind of what we do with the blog post and columns we post on the weekends. All right, well, that will do it for today. We'll be back tomorrow with Sherlock Holmes, and then join us back here again next Wednesday for another episode of Let George Do It. Today's episode is brought to you by the support of our listeners. Thank you so much for all your great financial support. And here now is today's episode of Sherlock Holmes, The Adventure of Black Peter.
From New York City, the makers of Clipper Craft Clothes for Men and more than 1,200 leading retail stores from coast to coast present that immortal character created by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, the world's most famous detective, Sherlock Holmes, starring John Stanley. This week's story, The Adventure of Black Peter. Watson.
Yes, Holmes?
Hang on that meat hook, will you?
Oh, very well, Holmes. But dash it, what are you up to?
Step to one side, my dear Watson. I shouldn't want any blood to spatter on you when I plunge this harpoon into the flesh.
Holmes, what on earth?
Observe how murder is done, Watson. If you're like most men, you want to feel comfortable in your suit, yet it must fit you flawlessly. Look crisp, smart, and new as tomorrow. Naturally, you want a fabric you can depend on for long wear. Yes, your suit must look like a really expensive model, but its price ought to make you feel like cheering. Man, Clippercraft is your suit, because it gives you so much more than you ever could count on for only $40 and $47.50. And here's why. Better than 1,200 of this country's finest independent stores have combined their colossal purchasing power to bring about real savings in manufacturing and distribution costs. And these savings are passed along to you. That's why you can enjoy the longer wear of Clippercraft's wonderful worsted suits at only $47.50. Slip into one at the friendly independent store in your community that sells Clippercraft. Look over the selection of top coats and sport coats, too. You just can't find values to beat Clippercraft. Compare Clippercraft with clothes selling for many dollars more. And now, Dr. Watson, you were going to tell us of the adventure of Black Peter.
Ah, yes, Mr. Harris, to be sure. It began in 1895, a most fruitful year for Holmes. He was enjoying an immense practice at 221B Baker Street. Indeed, if I should reveal the identity of some of the illustrious clients who crossed our threshold, I should be guilty of an indiscretion. Chronologically, this adventure took place just after Holmes's famous investigation of the sudden death of Cardinal Tosca and his arrest of Wilson, the notorious East End trainer of canary birds. It properly began in the year 1883 aboard the steam whaler Sea Unicorn and in the middle watch of a very dark night.
Evening, Mr. Nelligan.
Eh? Oh, it's you, Captain. It was so dark here on deck, I couldn't tell who it was.
I've been looking for you, Mr. Nelligan.
You have?
Aye. You'll be interested to know we sight the Shetland Lights in 2 days.
Excellent, Captain, excellent. That's good news to a landlubber like myself. It'll be good to see land again.
Aye, but there's a hitch in it.
What do you mean?
This, Mr. Nelligan.
Oh.
There, now. Over the side you go, Mingy.
So, it's been 12 years since we sailed the Sea Unicorn, eh, Skipper?
Aye. And all that time I've holed up here in this cabin in the Sussex woods. Nice and peaceful like. You come a long way to see your old captain, matey. Here, have another drink for old time's sake.
Aye, for old time's sake. For good old 1883 and the Sea Unicorn.
Ah, now, there was a ship, the best steam whaler ever to make way out of Dundee. Aye, and it's many a blubber whale we harpooned from her, eh, matey?
Aye.
Drink up, then. Drink up. Nothing like good rum to warm the hearts of old shipmates, eh? I tell you, mate. Hold on. You ain't down your rum.
No.
Then why not?
I changed my mind.
Did you now? Never known you to turn down good rum afore, mate.
I'm turning it down now.
What do you mean?
I've known you too long to let you trick me, Black Peter. I didn't come here to pass the time of day. I got a little business to talk over with you, nice and quiet. And I'll need a clear head to do it.
So, you got a little business, eh, mister? What business?
A certain tin box once owned by a passenger aboard the Sea Unicorn.
What are you talking about?
A Mendel man named John Nelligan, Skipper.
John Nelligan?
Aye. They say he fell overboard one dark night in the middle watch. But I say different. I say he was tipped by the heels and thrown overboard.
You do, eh?
I do. You see, I was out. Saw the whole thing myself with my own eyes. Of course, I ain't mentioning any names.
Blast you, mate. Why did you come to my place here? What do you want?
I want half a swag in that $10 you stole from Nelligan, Skipper.
I'll see you rot.
That's why you're wrong, Skipper. I'll see you rot. When I tell the police about what happened to John Nelligan, they'll hang you so high.
I'll cut out your tongue first.
Stop that knife, Skipper.
I'll slit your throat, I will.
Stop that knife, you drunken fool.
Watson, you know the county of Sussex, of course.
Hey, Holmes, Sussex? Yes, of course I do. What about it?
We're journeying there on the 10 o'clock train, my dear Watson. Specifically to a little place called Woodman's Lee near Forest Row.
Here we are. Why?
I'm in receipt of an urgent and long telegram from my young protege with the official police, Inspector Stanley Hopkins. He admits to complete bafflement in the procedure of his duties and begs us to repair there with all possible haste.
Then there's more to this than just the scenery in Sussex, eh?
There is indeed, Watson. To be exact, murder.
Murder?
Yes. It seems that a certain retired sea captain, one Peter Carey, has been mysteriously stabbed.
Knifed, eh?
I did not say that, Watson.
Well, my dear Holmes, you say the man was stabbed, but not knifed?
Precisely, Watson. And this is what gives the case an altogether intriguing and refreshing aspect. Peter Carey was stabbed and pinned to a wall, not by a knife, but by a harpoon.
You say this forest path leads to Black Peter's cabin, Inspector Hopkins?
Yes, Dr. Watson. We'll be there presently. Hopkins, you tell me you found no footprints before the heavy rain last night obliterated all signs.
No, Mr. Holmes, I found no footprints.
Meaning that you saw none.
I assure you, Mr. Holmes, there were none.
Oh, come, Hopkins. You're beginning to sound like your senior colleague, Inspector Lestrade.
Yes, sir, but...
My dear Hopkins, I have investigated many crimes, but I've never yet seen one that was committed by a flying creature. As long as a criminal remains on two legs, so long must there be some indentation, some abrasion, some trifling displacement which can be detected by the scientific searcher. I trust you'll remember that in the future, my lad.
Yes, Mr. Holmes. I'm sorry I did not telegraph you sooner, but...
Quite all right. But hello, there's the cabin just ahead. Perhaps we may be able to lean heavily on what we find within.
Good heavens, Holmes, look at that body. Pinned to this wall by a steel harpoon.
Not very pretty, is it, Watson?
Oh, dash it, Holmes' position. I'm supposed to be hardened to this sort of thing. But I must confess that this gave me a bit of a start.
Quite. A terrifying sight, Watson, yet fascinating. Note how the steel harpoon was thrust clean through the man's chest, impaling him against the wall. His face twisted in agony like a lost soul in torment.
Yes. Surprised visitor turned out to be a most unpleasant scoundrel, I must say.
On the contrary, Watson, Peter Carey's visitor was no surprise. He met his murderer by appointment.
How do you know that, Mr. Holmes?
Elementary, my dear Hopkins. Observe that although Peter Carey was killed late at night, he was fully dressed. Note, too, that the bed has not been slept in, and that on his sea chest he placed a tantalus containing brandy and whiskey for the convenience of his guests. Aha!
Oh, what is it, Holmes?
The spirits in these two bottles. Both the brandy and the whiskey have been unopened.
Yes, but Holmes...
On the other hand, the bottle of rum on the table there has been almost completely consumed.
You consider this significant, Mr. Holmes?
I do indeed, Hopkins. Most significant.
Holmes, I simply do not see you.
Hello. What's this blood-stained notebook doing on the table?
Oh, as to that, sir, I found it on the floor near the door and picked it up. It's the only thing I touched.
Soaked with blood on one side.
Yes. On which side, Hopkins, were the bloodstains? Above or below?
Why, on the side next to the floorboard.
Which proves, of course, that the book was dropped after the crime was committed. Let's have a look inside. Yes, seems to be a list of stock exchange securities. And on the first page, two sets of initials, JHN and CPR. What do you make of them, Hopkins?
Why, if you ask me, Mr. Holmes, I'd say it's possible JHN was the name of the broker, and CPR the name of his client.
Pretty sound deduction, I should say, Holmes.
Rubbish, Watson.
Eh?
The JHN eludes me for the moment, but I'll wager a sovereign that the initial CPR stand for Canadian Pacific Railway.
By Jove, Mr. Holmes, of course. What a fool I've been. Canadian Pacific Securities, of course. But what's an old sea dog like Peter Carey got to do with stock exchange?
Precisely what I propose to find out. Oh, Hopkins.
Yes, sir?
I presume you noticed by the dust imprint that something was taken from this shelf.
I did. It's an oblong shape, as you will observe, Mr. Holmes. It might have been a book, or perhaps a box.
Whatever it was, the murderer considered it valuable enough to take with him. There's no other evidence of robbery. Well, gentlemen, let's go. We've seen enough of this room.
What are you going to do now, Holmes?
Reflect, Watson. Perhaps a walk in these beautiful woods will serve to... Hello, look at the lock on this door.
What about it, sir?
Someone's been tampering with the lock. Observe, the woodwork is cut. Hopkins.
Yes, Mr. Holmes?
Were these scratches here when you left last evening?
No, sir, they were not.
What do you think of it, Holmes?
I think Fortune's been very kind to us, my dear Watson.
Well, I confess I don't see
Come, Watson, it's all quite plain. Our nocturnal marauder is obviously a very poor burglar. He came expecting to find Peter Carey's door open. Finding it locked, he tried to force it open with a penknife. He failed. Now, assuming that he wanted something in the cabin very badly, what would he do next?
Why, come back the next night with a heavier tool.
Precisely.
Then you think this burglar fellow will return tonight?
I do indeed, Hopkins, and it'll be our fault if we are not here to receive him at close quarters. Yes, so it is, Hopkins.
And the fellow hasn't shown up yet.
Patient? Patient.
I must confess that lying in a Sussex bush for 5 hours on a cold, damp night like this isn't to my taste. That old leg wound of mine is beginning to pain.
I regret that this long and melancholy vigil is so uncomfortable, my dear Watson, but we may yet hope that... Aha! Someone's at the gate. Down low, both of you. He's coming.
Yes.
He's looking about wide, Hopkins. Coming on again.
He stopped at the cabin door.
Yes.
He's broken in, Mr. Holmes.
Come, Watson, Hopkins. We've got him trapped in the cabin. Now is the time to close with our quarry. Tomorrow, go visit your Clippercraft dealer. See his showing of Clippercraft for fall. Just feel the luxurious fabrics and consider the superb cut and made-for-you fit. You just have to agree Clippercraft suits look many dollars more than the $40 or $47.50 you'll pay. Now, here's the reason Clippercraft is so easy on your budget. That reason is pure logic. More than 1,200 of America's finest stores from coast to coast combine their huge buying power for savings in production and distribution. An operation of this scope naturally keeps Clippercraft's great tailoring plant on a full working schedule the whole year round. Manufacturing expenses are obviously reduced. Anyone can see that this results in real savings for the millions who wear Clippercraft. That's why Clippercraft suits are such staggering values at only $40 and $47.50. That's why men who know insist on Clippercraft clothes. So be sure to visit the Clippercraft store in your city.
These leading stores in the metropolitan area are proud to add their names to Clippercraft in your suits, top coats, and sport jackets. In Manhattan, John Wanamaker Men's Stores, Broadway at 8th and 67 Liberty Street. Saks 34th, Broadway at 34th. In Brooklyn, Abraham and Strauss. In Newark, New Jersey, Boulevard Men's Shop, Kresge Newark. And in Jamaica, the B&B Clothes Shop, 16408 Jamaica Avenue.
And now let's return to our story, Dr. Watson.
Well, Mr. Harris, we poured into the cabin and found a frightened youth who put up no resistance whatsoever. He had one of Black Peter's logbooks in his hand, dated August 1883, when Inspector Hopkins snapped the handcuffs on him. He was a frail youth, obviously a gentleman, and so frightened he could hardly speak.
Now, my fine fellow, who are you?
Inspector, if you imagine that I had anything to do with Captain Carey's death, you're wrong. Believe me, I'm innocent.
Suppose you tell us your name.
It's Nelligan. John Hopley Nelligan.
Indeed. And the initials would be J.H.N. What do you think of that, Mr. Holmes?
I'll digest it later, my dear Hopkins. Now then, Nelligan, your name has a familiar sound. I seem to recall it in connection with financial circles in London.
Yes, my father was a partner in the banking firm of Dawson and Nelligan.
By Jove, Holmes, I recall it now. The West Country bankers who failed for $1 million and ruined half the county families in Cornwall.
Yes. And it seems to me your father disappeared with some of the securities.
It's a lie. He simply needed time to realize them and pay back his investors. It's true he fled with a tin box of securities, but he left a list with my mother and swore that he would come back with his honor cleared.
And where did your father go, Nelligan?
He started in a small vessel for Norway in August of '83. Then we never heard from him again.
Aha, but later the securities he'd taken with him turned up in the market.
Yes, Mr. Holmes. That's just what happened. I spent many months tracing the original seller, and finally I discovered that he was Captain Peter Carey, otherwise known as Black Peter, one of the Sea Unicorns.
Now we're getting somewhere. The distance between a disappearing banker and a sea captain pinned to a wall with a harpoon has shrunken considerably, eh, Watson?
So it seems, Holmes. So it seems. How do you think Black Peter acquired your father's securities, Nelligan?
That's why I came to the cabin to find out. I suspected some sort of foul play.
So you came to Peter Carey's cabin and found him dead. You then checked the logbooks for August 1883, hoping for a clue to your father's disappearance. And you found none.
No, the pages for that month have been ripped out of this logbook.
Mr. Holmes.
Yes, Hopkins?
With your permission, I'll ask young Nelligan here a few questions.
By all means, Hopkins. I've quite finished.
Now then, my lad. You came to the cabin last evening, but you could not break the lock. Is that correct?
Yes, Inspector, that's correct.
And you were not in the cabin before that?
No, sir.
Then how do you account for this notebook with your initials J.H.N.?
I don't know. I thought I lost it at the hotel.
We found it at the scene of the crime. It was covered with blood. It proves that you were there at the time, that you quarreled with Peter Carey, you took down the harpoon from the wall, ran him through, and in your flight, dropped the book.
No, Inspector, that's not true. It's not true, I tell you.
You tell us a cock and bull story of wanting to see a logbook. What you wanted was to recover this blood-stained notebook. You knew it was evidence of the hangman's noose.
Inspector, for the love of heaven, I tell you I'm innocent. I swear it.
Perhaps the man has something on his side, Inspector.
Then let the jury decide that, Mr. Holmes. On the face of the evidence, Nelligan, I am arresting you for murder.
Holmes.
Yes, Watson?
About young Hopkins and his arrest of Nelligan back there at Woodman's Lee.
What about it?
Well, I can't say I blame the inspector on second thought. That blood-stained notebook is certainly damning evidence. And certainly Nelligan had a motive. It seems clear that Black Peter did away with his father, stole the securities, and...
Oh, rubbish, Watson.
Eh?
Frankly, I'm disappointed in Stanley Hopkins, and his methods do not commend themselves to me. They smack too much of Lestrade. I had hoped for better things.
But the blood-stained notebook, Holmes, on the scene of the crime, and Nelligan's strange return...
Granted, my dear fellow, but one should always look for a possible alternative and provide against it. The first rule of criminal investigation.
Well, I confess I'm confused.
Are you, Watson? Are you indeed? Then let me ask you a question. Would you say young Nelligan was a big and powerful man?
Why, no.
No, bigger or stronger than myself, for example.
I should say he was less sturdy than yourself, Holmes. But dash it, what's all this got to do with...
In an hour, Watson, I hope to demonstrate to your own satisfaction that young John Nelligan could not possibly have murdered Black Peter Carey.
I see. Oh, hello, here's Paddington Station, Holmes.
Quite. But this time, Watson, we shall stay on the train and change for the east end of the docks.
Eh, why?
There's a certain shop on Ratcliffe Highway near Commercial Road East and the Shadwell Fish Market. It excels in accessories for the fishermen. And I wish to make a purchase there.
A purchase? Good Lord, Holmes, what kind of purchase?
A harpoon, my dear Watson.
So you want to purchase a harpoon, sir?
I do. I want it heavyweight and in steel. Well, my good man, what are you staring at? Perfectly simple request, is it not?
Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. Only
what?
Well,
Don't look like the sort of man who'd be interested in harpoons.
I'm interested in prompt service in the article I requested.
Yes. If you just wait a moment, sir.
Holmes, you still haven't told me what the devil you want with a harpoon.
Now, here's a harpoon used in all the latest whalers and sailing vessels, sir.
Capital. Good heft, too. I'll take it.
Very good, sir. Of course, you'll want us to deliver it?
On the contrary, I'll carry it with me.
Dash it, Holmes. You mean you're going to wander about London carrying a harpoon?
This is no time to stand on dignity, my dear fellow. Come, let's be off to see our old friend Allardyce.
Allardyce? You mean Allardyce the butcher?
Exactly, my dear Watson. Well, good afternoon, Allardyce.
Good afternoon, Mr. Holmes. Mr. Holmes?
No need to stare, Allardyce. This steel spear is merely a harpoon, and I'm carrying it on a serious mission.
It seems to me every eye in London was upon us on our way here.
You're much too sensitive, my dear Watson. Now then, Allardyce, as to your stock in trade...
We have some excellent lamb chops, Mr. Holmes, and if you like a nice cut of beef...
As a matter of fact, Allardyce, I'm interested in neither at the moment. What I want is a dead pig.
A dead pig? Holmes, what the deuce?
You must have a pig carcass hanging somewhere in your back shop, Allardyce.
Oh, yes, Mr. Holmes. As a matter of fact, I have, but...
Then I should like the pleasure of meeting this porker. At once.
Here's a pig carcass hanging from this hook, Mr. Holmes.
Ah, yes. Capital. A good thick animal. Now, Watson, if you'll hold my coat...
Holmes, what the devil are you up to?
I'm merely going to try out this harpoon, my dear Watson. Now, if you'll step back, I shall attempt to plunge it into this carcass with all my might and at close quarters. Observe. You see, Watson?
Well, all I see is you've stuck that steel barb into an unoffending carcass of meat.
Use your eyes, man, use your eyes. Note, I plunged the harpoon into that carcass with all my strength. Yet the barb went but halfway through.
I see. Then you mean that young Nelligan was incapable of impaling Peter Carey to the wall with a harpoon?
Precisely, Watson. If I couldn't turn the trick here, Nelligan couldn't possibly have pierced Black Peter through at the cabin. It's beyond his physical power and mine.
Well, then if it wasn't young Nelligan, who was it, Holmes?
All in good time, Watson, all in good time. First, we know it was a powerful man, a giant in strength. Second, we know it was a sailor.
How?
Obvious, my dear Watson. First, the man who killed Peter Carey had to handle a harpoon deftly and speedily. Remember, it was hanging on the wall when Black Peter pulled his knife. Then, of course, there was the spirit.
Spirits? What spirit?
The murderer was drinking with Black Peter. He left the brandy and whiskey untouched and drank only rum. Hence, further proof that the killer was not a landlubber, but a seafaring man. But come, Watson, we must be off.
Yes, Holmes, where?
First, I must dispatch a telegram to Dundee. Later, if fortune's with us, we'll go to the Daily Chronicle and insert an advertisement on the shipping page.
What kind of advertisement?
My dear Watson, I propose to start an Arctic expedition.
You'll excuse me, Mr. Holmes, but why did you ask me here at Baker Street this morning?
My dear Hopkins, I propose to make your journey here quite worthwhile.
Oh, indeed, Mr. Holmes? How?
I expect that the murderer of Peter Carey will be here shortly to pay us all a call.
What? Rather an interesting surmise, eh, Inspector? I can't say I can go along with it, Mr. Holmes. I have my murderer already, young Mr. Nelligan, and the evidence to convict him before a jury of his peers. Do you indeed, Hopkins? Yes, sir. I have my man. But are you sure you can produce yours?
Quite. You see, Hopkins, I advertised for the murderer to call on me.
You what? I don't blame you for being properly confused, Inspector. Heavens knows I was...
Someone's coming up the stairs. Open the door, Watson.
Very well, Holmes.
I'm sure this is our man. His step sounds like the tread of a giant.
My name is Patrick Cairns. I have your advertisement here.
Are you a harpooner?
Aye, sir. 26 voyages.
What ship?
Sea Unicorn, out of Dundee.
Very well, Cairns. First yours. Now, if you'll just sign here on the desk.
Very good, sir. I'll sign it.
Hopkins, Watson, help me pin him down.
Here, what's this? Try to shanghai me, would you?
Look out, Holmes. And this man is as strong as a bull.
Quick, Hopkins, the handcuffs. Right, Mr. Holmes.
All right, my man, that'll do. You're dealing with the law here.
What is this? What's the meaning of this?
You might call it an arrest, Cairns. To be specific, I'm afraid we must detain you for the murder of your old captain, Peter Carey. Good evening, Hopkins.
Mr. Holmes, I've just come here to apologize for my stupidity.
Yes, Inspector? Why?
Peter Cairns has just confessed. Naturally, I released young Nelligan at once.
I see. Cairns knew Black Peter had done away with Nelligan Sr. and taken the securities. Later, he tried to blackmail Peter and finally killed him. Eh, Hopkins?
That is correct, Mr. Holmes.
But, Holmes, how was young Nelligan's securities notebook found on the seat?
Young Nelligan neglected to tell us that he'd paid a previous visit to the cabin, Watson. He was afraid to incriminate himself, of course. No doubt he'd seen the pinioned corpse, fled in haste, dropped his notebook, and slammed the door shut behind him. And later he returned to find it locked.
That's the way it was, Mr. Holmes. Exactly the way it was. But how did you know this sailor Carey?
Elementary, my dear Hopkins. I knew it was a sailor, and that he must have come from Peter Carey's old crew, the Sea Unicorn. They drank together, as you know. And later on, by the dust pattern on the shelf, we knew some sort of box was missing.
The box with the stolen securities, eh, Holmes?
Exactly, Watson. After that, Hopkins, I telegraphed Dundee and found that only one harpooner of the old Sea Unicorn crew was alive. A giant of a man named Patrick Cairns. And since there was no record of his shipping elsewhere, the man was in a mood for an attractive berth.
And so you advertised for the murder.
Quite, Watson. And as you saw, the results were most gratifying. Indeed, Watson, if I may forego my usual modesty for a moment, I believe this adventure deserves a special place in your memoirs.
And so it does, Dr. Watson, but how did John Nelligan Sr. appear on the Sea Unicorn?
Well, Mr. Harris, his yacht foundered in a storm. He was picked up by Black Peter's vessel and only survivor. Later, as you know, Peter Carey threw him overboard upon learning of the valuables in the tin box.
Oh, I see.
I might add that ultimately the honor of the Nelligan name was revived. And shortly thereafter, Holmes and I went to Norway for a well-earned holiday.
I would say you had it coming to you, Doctor. But now, Dr. Watson, what about next week's adventure?
Well, next week, I shall relate to you the fabulous windmill. It concerns the baffling disappearance of a dike inspector, a mystifying wooden cabin, and a technique for committing murder that would be best employed in Holland.
Well, we'll be on hand to visit the fabulous windmill next week, Dr. Watson. The makers of Clipper Craft clothes and more than 1,200 stores from coast to coast have brought you another in the new series of broadcasts featuring the world's most famous detective, Sherlock Holmes. Our stories are based upon the character Sherlock Holmes, created by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, and the program is produced and directed by Basil Loughlin. Sherlock Holmes is played by John Stanley, Dr. Watson by George Spelman. This week's story was written by Max Ehrlich with special music by Albert Berman. If you don't know your Clipper Craft dealer, write Clipper Craft, 200 Fifth Avenue, New York City. Be sure to listen next week to Sherlock Holmes in The Fabulous Windmill. This is Cy Harris speaking for Clipper Craft Clothes. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System. In just a moment, you'll hear Behind the Front Page with Gabriel Heater.
Eastern Airlines now ready for departure.
Tried and proven dependability over billions of passenger miles. That's Eastern's famous airliners and Eastern's experienced pilots. For double dependability, fly Eastern, the tried and proven airline.
This is WOR, New York.
Welcome back. Well, even without checking, I knew that this was an adventure that had been originally written by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. It was just too good, I think, to have been otherwise. That does tend to be the thing with this particular series. The ones that are by Doyle stand out like a sore thumb because they do tend to be so much better than the regular episodes that are just that are original from the writers. All right, well, we do turn to listener comments by now. And Al commented on episode 699, The Frightened Bookkeeper. Love these old radio broadcasts. Basil Rathbone has such command. John H. Watson, I think probably not his real name, says, except this isn't Basil Rathbone, but John Stanley. But he does sound like Basil Rathbone, doesn't he? I think it's worth discussing that both Tom Conway and John Stanley, the two people who immediately followed Rathbone, did their Holmes voice in a very Rathbone-like voice. And I think that does say something to how much Rathbone had come to dominate it in the whole area of Sherlock Holmes in the 1940s. People thought, that Basil Rathbone was Sherlock Holmes. And so if you wanted to play Sherlock Holmes, you needed to have somebody who could imitate Basil Rathbone. And I think that they could do there are some people, I think you can imitate their voice, the mechanics, but you can't capture the essence of who they are. Another one I think that's a pretty good example was Jimmy Durante. Everybody can do that voice, but has an impersonation, but to capture the spirit of it, that's tough. And I think that same thing's true with Basil Rathbone, and may have been the thing that I think both Stanley and Conway missed to one extent or another. And Ed says, hey, Adam, great stuff. Listen to a few Box 13s recently, episode 196 or thereabouts, as well as other shows around 200, and don't know if you've ever mentioned that Joseph Kearns, who is in several of them, played Mr. Wilson on TV's Dennis the Menace to us kids from the 50s and 60s. Also, one of the characters' voices is the fellow who narrates many of the Disneyland rides and programs. Paul Frees, I think it is. Cool stuff, thanks. Well, many of the great radio performers, and Paul Frees certainly among them, they live on through animated features, and they also live on, I guess, in some cases through the rides. It was kind of interesting. We were watching a rerun of Rocky and Bullwinkle, and we saw on there, the name Bill Conrad. It's interesting, what they did outside of radio. What some of these people did on radio was simply amazing with, in some cases, thousands and even above 10,000 appearances. And Joseph Kearns was one of those. Kearns, by the way, of course, over television, known for his role in Dennis the Menace, but did not actually make his screen or any visual debut until he was 40. And that was actually as a voice. Didn't get out on screen till 42. But then he, transitioned to television. He brought so many of his talents along, culminating with playing Mr. Wilson. The first Mr. Wilson, he died while that show was being made, and was replaced by another radio great, Gail Gordon. And we'll continue to hear Joseph Kearns in show after show. Really, it's amazing just how many episodes he turns up in. All right, well, that will do it for today. We will be back tomorrow with yours truly, Johnny Dollar, and then join us back here on Thursday for another episode of Sherlock Holmes. Today's episode is brought to you by the financial support of our listeners. Thank you so much for all your support. Now it's time for today's episode of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, the Philip Morey matter.
Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum, the refreshing, delicious treat that gives you chewing enjoyment, presents for your listening enjoyment John Lund as
Johnny Dollar.
John Old Maynard, Johnny.
Hold on, Mr. Maynard.
You employed?
No, not a bit. Just closed out a case.
Fine. Can you go to New York?
Yeah, I guess so. What's it all about?
Well, this company insures Morey Productions Incorporated. It's a film television company shooting in New York. The star is Philip Morey.
Uh-huh.
Well, production stopped last Wednesday. We were notified that Morey had suffered a breakdown and couldn't continue for a while. It's costing us plenty. They've got a pretty big company. Cast and crew are all under contract and have to get paid.
Now, what do you want me to do?
Well, anything you can. The doctor definitely confirms the breakdown, but he says he's sure it's due to some personal crisis. See what you can find out. See if you can't do something to snap Morey out of it.
Okay.
Right away, huh?
As soon as I pack a bag.
the makers of Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum bring you John Lund and another adventure of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Friends, the makers of Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum present these weekly adventures of Johnny Dollar because they know that millions of you enjoy Johnny Dollar. That's true of Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum, too. It's enjoyed by millions, day in and day out. People find that chewing on a smooth, delicious piece of Wrigley's Spearmint Gum somehow makes time pass more pleasantly. Whether you're working, driving, shopping, or just taking things easy, that good, tasty chewing gives you enjoyment and satisfaction. So always keep a package of Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum handy. And whenever you want a refreshing, delicious treat, chew a stick. You'll like it. You really will.
Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to Home Office, National Life and Casualty Insurance Company, Hartford, Connecticut. The following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the Philip Morey matter. Expense account item 1, $19.85, train fare and incidentals between Hartford and New York City. Item 2, 75 cents, cab fare to a hotel, where I registered and called the offices of the Morey Production Company. I made an appointment to see Mr. Milton Gradkey, the producer. Expense account item 3, 55 cents for another cab to Gradkey's well-appointed office on 45th Street.
Really, Mr. Dollar, I'm just as concerned about this situation as the insurance company is. In fact, I'm probably a whole lot more concerned. A whole lot. Well, we've got a schedule to meet. We've got a sponsor and a network to account to. And if our star is sick,
I just came down to see if I could help.
It's a breakdown, Mr. Dollar. Who can help with a breakdown? Are you a doctor?
You're a close friend, huh?
Yes, very close. I can't do anything. How could you?
What caused the breakdown?
Such a question. What causes the breakdown? What causes breakdowns? Again, it's for a doctor to say. I'm only a producer.
Well, the company doctor felt it was something of a personal nature. Something more than just overwork.
Well, I know Phil is sick. He's really in a bad shape. And I know if he doesn't snap out of it, this show is going on the rocks. It may be personal, but that's not for me to say. Phil's had enough trouble in the past. Well, this time he could be ruined.
Who's his personal physician?
Ewing, Charles Ewing. The best man for this sort of thing. I got the best.
I'd like to talk to him.
He's probably over with Phil now.
Oh, fine. I'll stop by.
Oh, he won't allow you to see Phil. You can't see him, Mr. Dollar.
Okay, then I'll just talk to the doctor.
Maybe Ewing's back at his office now. Why don't you go over to his office instead, huh? It'll be a whole lot easier if you go over to
Mr. Gradkey.
Yes?
What's the matter? Don't you want me to talk with Philip Morey?
He's sick. Very sick.
You sure that's all?
Of course that's all. You got the doctor's report?
Yeah, but if you don't mind, I'll check it myself. Your company may be in trouble, Mr. Gradkey, but my company is paying for it.
Expense account item 4. $1.25 for still another cab. Philip Morey was residing in an apartment on Park Avenue. I had trouble getting by the doorman, the receptionist at the switchboard, and the elevator operator, but I got by them. I walked down the 3rd floor of the building and knocked on the door to Philip Morey's apartment.
Yes?
Dr. Ewing?
No, he just left.
My name is Dollar. I'd like to see Mr. Morey.
I'm sorry, no one can see Mr. Morey. He's quite ill.
Who are you?
What business is that of yours?
I'm a special agent for National Life and Casualty. I was sent here to make a report on Mr. Morey's condition.
Well, then I suggest you talk to Dr. Ewing.
Now, wait a minute.
Look, I told you that...
Hey, Richard. Where's the beef? What's going on?
Mr. Morey?
Yeah?
Well, you better go on back in your room.
Why? What do you want, Edward?
My name is Dollar, Mr. Morey.
Okay. What's it all about, huh?
I told him you weren't seeing anyone.
Yeah.
He's from the insurance company.
I don't want any.
You already have it. I just came down here to see if I could help.
Wait a minute. I don't want any insurance. I'm a lousy risk.
Phil.
No. Go on, fella. Beat it. You hear me? Go on.
Okay. Don't get rough. You're in no condition.
You think so, huh?
Look, Mr. Morey, my company got a report that you'd suffered a breakdown.
Yeah. Oh, good for them.
It looks to me more like a 90-proof breakdown, and it smells like it, too.
Well, what's it to you?
Plenty. My company's paying a lot of money while you're laid up. As long as it's a legitimate illness, they're obligated to keep on paying.
And if I'm just drunk?
I doubt if my company would think kindly of you, Mr. Morey.
Well, isn't that just too bad?
Mr. Dollar, he didn't start hitting the bottle until last night.
Just forget the excuses. Just drop it. And you get out of here now, huh? Go on, get out.
Okay.
And tell your stinking company I'm gonna stay drunk until we have another brew snow. Okay?
It's fine with me. I'll send you a sled with a coffin on it. I was supposed to help Morey straighten himself out, but this wasn't just a breakdown. He was boiled to the eyebrows. And if you could go on past performances, it was an odds-on bet he'd stay that way. Expense account item 5. $1.35 cab fare from the Park Avenue apartment to the hotel, where I went to the bar to cool off. I had a fast one and was reaching for another when I was interrupted.
Mr. Dollar?
Oh.
I talked with Milt Gradkin. He told me you were staying here.
Okay.
First, let me apologize for what happened.
Forget it.
Can I sit down?
Sure.
Well, we really didn't meet officially. I'm Richard Long. I'm the writer-director on the series.
Well, if Morey stays loaded, you're going to be out of a job.
He just started drinking last night.
Insurance doesn't cover a lost weekend. I'll have to report it. They'll cancel.
It'll be rough. His wife left him.
Oh, that's the reason, huh?
Yeah. She's going to sue. They've been trying to do everything we could to get Phil in shape.
Well, from the way he looked, you better forget it.
Now that this one blows up, he's through. He's finished for good.
It's happened before.
Yeah. But isn't it too bad?
Yeah, I guess it is.
He's one of the biggest talents we've ever had in this business.
And he's gotten into more trouble.
Look, I'm not defending his mistakes, just his talent.
If you're going to ask me not to make that report to my
Mr.
company...
Dollar, I know you've got a job. I know your company can't be expected to keep on paying while Phil's in this condition.
Well, I'm glad you understand.
But they've paid up till now, and believe me, you've got my word, until last night, Phil Morey hadn't touched a drop.
Well, even if that's true, Morey's drinking now, and he looks like he's good for a long, long time. He's fallen off before, hasn't he?
Yes.
He lost his motion picture contract the last time, didn't he?
Yes, but all that straightened itself out.
It looked pretty crooked this afternoon.
This would never have happened in a million years if it wasn't for that wife.
Well, that's another one of his patterns, isn't it? He's been sued by more ex-wives.
Mr. Zoller, I've never said he was right. I never said any of the trouble was anything else but his own fault. But you don't know him. Not many people do. This guy is the most considerate, charitable...
When he's sober.
Listen, if you've got about 12 hours sometime, I'd like to impress you with some of the good things on the other side of the ledger. He's given Janet everything she could want. Sure, he was wrong. He should have belted her one and told her to keep in line.
He's made the same mistake with every woman he's ever been involved with, and they've all taken him. Nearly everyone's taken him. Business managers, agents. You think them up, and they've had their fingers in the pie. For a while, there was a pretty big pie.
Sounds like fodder for a good psychoanalyst.
Yeah, but, well, Janet's leaving him was too much. Even as bad as he was, he didn't hit the bottle. He just kind of folded up, but he stayed on the wagon.
Until last night.
Yeah. The lawyer called. Bill got to the phone before I did. He was almost well. Didn't care if he ever saw her again. The lawyer said lawsuit. Bill headed for the bar.
Well, a breakdown is one thing, but a drunk is something else. And he doesn't exactly have the cleanest record in the world. A couple of his binges turned into marathons.
Well, I don't know what to do.
That's why I wanted to see him. I was sent down here to straighten him out if I could.
Get that dame to lay off the lawsuit and you can.
Well, maybe she thinks she's got a case. The other wives did all right.
Well, that's why he flipped. He just can't afford it. You got any idea how much alimony he's paying right now?
Yeah, I've heard.
And it's more than just the dough. This one's taking him. He's played it straight all the way. Gave her everything she wanted. Laid off the booze. Really, I know. He tried to make this one work.
And why did she leave him?
She figured it was the right time. He's going good. Still got a lot of money. She's a tramp.
Does he think so?
Well, he does now. I never said anything to him while they were together, and there was a lot I could have said, but, you just don't do those things.
No, it never helps.
After she left him, I finally sat him down and gave it to him straight. He got sore, but he listened and he started putting things together. She played around all over the place while she was with him, but she did it smart. It's the old story about the husband being the last one to know.
And he took it?
Yeah, it helped. I really gave it to him, everything I knew.
He must have made quite a study.
Well, she threw a few pitches my way.
Well, if you know all these things, why not let her take it to court? Sounds like you've got enough on her to stop any kind of a suit.
Oh, no. I said she played it smart. It's all hearsay. She'd just deny it, and who's going to call her a liar? The guys she was mixed up with?
Maybe.
Not these guys. They were hand-picked.
You said she threw a few pitches your way.
Look, Dollar, Morey's my closest friend. What do you think I'm going to do?
Well, I came down here to see if I could help. But it looks pretty hopeless.
I don't know.
He looked like he was headed for a wet evening. Anyone holding his hand?
Yeah, I left Milt with him. We've been working in shifts.
His wife's name is Janet, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where does she live?
55 West 125th Street.
Okay. Why don't you wait for me here?
You going over to see her?
I'm supposed to save my company money, Mr. Long. Maybe Mrs. Morey can suggest something.
Are you kidding?
Yeah. But have you got a better idea?
Good luck.
Friends, Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum is a refreshing, delicious treat you can enjoy just about any time. Even when you're busy working, you can slip a stick of Wrigley's Spearmint in your mouth and enjoy that pleasant chewing. The lively, full-bodied spearmint flavor cools your mouth and freshens your taste. The good, smooth chewing helps relieve pent-up tension, gives you satisfaction. As a result, you seem to feel more relaxed and get more enjoyment out of what you're doing. So enjoy chewing Wrigley's Spearmint Gum while you work, and at other times, too. Get a few packages next time you're at the store. That's Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum. Healthful, refreshing, delicious. And now, with our star, John Lund, we bring you the second act of Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar.
I left Long in the hotel bar and ran up expense account item 6, $1.45, for one more cab to take me to Mrs. Philip Morey's apartment building. I buzzed for the elevator, and when it arrived, a man stepped out and brushed my shoulder.
Sorry.
I'd seen him before someplace. And while the elevator took me up to the 4th floor, I tried to place him. Oh, I couldn't remember. But for some reason, the man seemed to be important. I got off at the 4th floor, still trying to place the face, and walked down the hall to Mrs. Morey's apartment.
Yes.
Mrs. Morey?
Yes.
My name is Dollar. I'm a special investigator for National Life and Casualty.
Insurance?
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry, but I'm...
My company insures your husband's television production.
Oh,
You mind if I come in and talk to you?
no. Come on in. I don't quite understand, Mr.
Dollar.
Mr. Dollar. Sit down, please.
Oh, thanks.
My husband's production company is insured?
That's right.
Insured for what?
Oh, accidents, illness.
Oh. Well, how'd you find me?
Mr. Long.
I see.
I have to make a complete investigation, Mrs. Morey. You see, when your husband was taken ill...
Taken ill?
Well, that's the report that was turned into the company.
Well, I guess you could call it that.
What would you call it?
He's plastered.
You know what that means.
I sure do. I left him. I'm going to get a divorce.
Well, aside from your personal differences, if your husband is just drinking, if that's the reason that production has been held up, my company will cancel his insurance.
So?
He won't be able to get insurance from any other company.
Look, Mr. Dollar, do you know anything about steel?
Well, just what I've read.
Well, that's been bad, all right, but you've got to live with a guy to really get the full effect. You wouldn't believe it.
Well, I understood he's been a pretty good boy until recently.
Why don't you go talk to my husband?
I saw him earlier today.
How'd you like it?
It was a little tense.
Was he sober?
Not even close.
Well.
But I understand he just started drinking.
Oh, that's dandy. Well, do you think they're going to tell you that he's been blind for the last month? You can take my word for it. He's no good. I tried. I was number 4, and I certainly tried to do everything I could to make it work.
Well, if it was that bad, I can't blame you. But this will ruin him.
He was ruined the day he was born. Oh, he'll get along. He's still got a lot of money.
After all the alimony he's been paying out?
Mr. Dollar, Phil has made over $6 million since he started in the business. He could still afford a dozen more wives if anyone will have him.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you'll be taken care of.
You bet your life I'll be taken care of. After all I put up with, I deserve to be taken care of. Taken care of good.
Uh-huh. Well...
Oh, you don't have to go. Let me buy you a drink.
Well, sure.
What's your poison?
Anything that's handy. Just water it.
Bourbon?
Fine.
I suppose Richard Long told you what a terrible woman I am.
He mentioned something about it.
Yeah, he would. He's a jealous little fellow. There you are.
Oh, thanks.
Cheers.
Sure.
Richard tried everything he could to break us up. And what a heel. After we'd been married for only a couple of months, Richard started making the old pitch. How do you like that?
Well, I can understand it.
Fine. But Richard's supposed to be Phil's closest friend.
An attractive woman can fracture a friendship in a hurry, under the right circumstances.
The circumstances were anything but right, Mr. Dollar.
Well, can't blame a man for trying.
Don't you have any scruples?
A couple. But I left them back in the 3rd grade.
Insurance business, huh?
Yeah.
You make a lot of money?
Enough. It has other compensations.
Tell me about them.
Well, good drink now and then.
I bet you meet a lot of interesting people.
Oh, lots.
What'd you say your first name was?
I didn't. But it's Johnny.
Johnny Dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Nice expensive sign.
You should get a load of my expense account sometime.
I'd love to.
You know, I saw a picture of you once.
Really?
Yeah. In a bathing suit.
I was a model before I met Phil. I had lots of pictures taken in bathing suits.
I think this was taken just before you married him. It was on the front page, showing you were the girl that was going to be the fourth Mrs. Morey.
Oh, that one.
Yeah,
That was a rather good one.
rather.
That book there on the table is just full of pictures taken while I was modeling.
Oh? Oh, this one?
Mm-hmm. Browse around.
Oh, I'd love to.
That's a good one.
Yes.
Oh, and here's one. We need a whole bunch of these on the beach. This is the best one of the lot.
Yeah. Nice, nice tan.
Isn't that one cute?
Yeah.
Mr. Dollar, how's your drink?
It just curdled.
Let me build you a fresh one.
Oh, no, thanks. I have to go.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You won't be, honey.
I don't think I understand that, Johnny.
I'll tell you all about it sometime. It'll give you a real kick. I left Mrs. Morey looking a little worried. Whether she knew it or not, she had a right to be. In one of the pictures she's shown me, I'd spotted the man I'd bumped into coming out of the elevator. And I remembered who he was. Expense account item 7, $1.45. Cab fare back to the hotel, where I told Richard Long about the man in the picture.
Eugene's Sweet.
Ever heard of him?
Oh.
I couldn't remember until I saw that picture. There was a big case in L.A. He was convicted and sentenced. Did 3 years for forgery. I was in on the case.
Sweet. No, I don't know.
And there was a girl mixed up in it.
Janet?
No. But it was an interesting setup. Sweet introduced the girl to a wealthy old man. The girl married the wealthy old man. Now, it seems the girl would have Sweet sign her husband's name to a check, then she'd fill in the amount and cash it. Not big checks. But after about 4 years, they added up.
Well, a man named Swift introduced Phil to Janet. I never did like him. He used to hang around all the time. Phil got tired of him in a hurry and gave him a bounce.
What did he look like?
I was tall, kind of greasy around the edges, weighed about, I don't know, about as much as I do.
Where does he live?
I don't know. I've only seen him a couple of times since Phil got rid of him. Why, you think Swift might be this Sweet or whatever his name is?
Well, it's a long shot, but you never know.
I guess I could find out. Milt might know.
Would Janet?
Sure. She might. Why don't we ask her?
Yeah. Why don't we just go back to her place and you have a look at that picture book?
I'm with you.
Long's car was parked outside the hotel. We piled in and drove back to Mrs. Morey's apartment building. We parked just in time to see a man enter by the front door.
That's him, Swift. He just went into Janet's building.
And he came out about an hour ago.
You mean Swift's the guy you were talking to?
Eugene Sweet. Arrested in Los Angeles in 1949.
Well, come on.
Well, it might be perfectly innocent.
In a pig's eye. I bet that dame's been working the same kind of setup you told me Sweet worked with the other one. He doesn't do anything. How does he support himself?
Well, if he's with Mrs. Morey, we can always ask him. We went into the lobby and waited for the elevator to come down. Long looked happier than a kid in an acre of new cement. And there was just a chance he had a right to be. The elevator arrived, and so did Milt Gradke, the producer, who came busting into the lobby from the street.
Milt?
Richard, I've been calling you all over the place.
What's the matter?
Phil, he's loose. I couldn't keep him in the apartment.
Oh, no.
I tried, but he got rough. He tried calling Janet, but she hung up on him. Then he went wild.
You think he's here with Janet?
Yes, and that's not the half of it.
Come on, we better get up there. There's no telling what he might do.
You know about it?
What do you mean about Sweet?
Who?
Sweet. I'll tell you later.
I thought you meant the gun.
Gun?
Yes, Phil's got a gun with him.
On the way up, Long explained as much as he could to Gradke, and Gradke continued to apologize for not being able to restrain Morey. We left the elevator on the 4th floor and hurried down to Mrs. Morey's apartment. The door was ajar. Sounds like they're all in there.
Well, what are we going to do?
Well, if he's got a gun...
He sure has.
I'm going in.
Get back! Get back.
He's trying to do something!
Put down the gun, Morey.
Don't come near me. Get back. I warn you. Don't anybody get near me. I'm
Swear I'll shoot.
Phil.
Not even you did, no. You too, Milt. Get back. This dame. This dame thought she was gonna take me. Well, she's not gonna get away with it.
Phil,
No,
please.
no. I am through. Nothing's left. So I'm gonna do it up brown. What do you think of this dame, Dick? Look who comes to see you.
His real name's Sweet, Eugene Sweet.
Huh? What?
That's right, Morey. He's done time.
Yeah?
Morey, put down the gun. It's a better than even bet that your wife's been pulling a fancy bit of hijacking with Sweet.
Huh?
That's right. Tell him about it, you little tramp.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Look, Phil.
I want the whole thing. How'd you take me? Come on.
He introduced you to Janet, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
They had it all settled. She marries you, sticks around for a while, and Sweet, being a good forger, signs your name to some checks. Tell him, Janet.
Yeah.
Phil, look, you didn't do wrong. You did everything right, for goodness sakes. Phil, nobody's gonna blame you now. Only put away that gun.
Put it down, Mr. Morey.
Stay back.
Mr. Morey,
Okay.
these two men have a lot of belief in you. They think you can straighten out in spite of everything that's happened. Now, nobody's going to blame you for anything unless you use that gun. Frankly, what happens to you doesn't make any difference to me.
It doesn't make any difference to anyone.
It does to these two guys. Why don't you start thinking about somebody else for a change? Let's see you prove you're worthy of their friendship.
Stay away.
Give me that gun. Now, come on. You're not whipped. Everybody gets in a slump now and then. Come on. Give me the gun, Mr. Morey. By the time the cops got there, Janet and Sweet had told me the whole story. They admitted cashing forged checks to the tune of $300,000. And that wasn't counting what Morey had given her legally. If I hadn't recognized Eugene Sweet, Janet would probably have won a nice settlement to go along with everything else. Morey had written so many checks he never would have noticed the extra ones. Oh, he was a setup. He spent money hand over fist, and his business manager would never think a dozen small checks a week were forged. Expense account item 8, $54, hotel bill. Item 9, $18.83, train fare and incidentals back to Hartford. Expense account total, $99.38. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Remember, friends, Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum is a refreshing, delicious treat you can enjoy just about any time. Chew a few sticks of Wrigley's Spearmint during the day and see how the good chewing helps you keep feeling fresh and alert. The lively, full-bodied flavor of Wrigley's Spearmint cools your mouth, freshens your taste, and sweetens your breath. The chewing itself gives you a nice little boost, helps you keep going at your best. Millions of people get real chewing enjoyment out of Wrigley's Spearmint Gum every day. And we know that you'll enjoy it, too. Get a few packages and always keep some handy. That's Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum. Healthful, refreshing, delicious. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, brought to you by Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum, stars John Lund in the title role and was written by Blake Edwards with music by Eddie Dunstetter. Featured in tonight's cast were Joe Duvall, Sidney Miller, Hy Averback, Bill Johnstone, and Jeanette Nolan. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, is produced and directed by Jaime Del Valle. The makers of Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum hope you enjoyed tonight's story of Johnny Dollar and that you're enjoying delicious Wrigley's Spearmint Gum every day. This is Charles Lyon inviting you to join us again next week at this same time when from Hollywood, John Lund returns as...
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
This is the CBS Radio Network.
All right, well, welcome back. I have to say, I think the average insurance investigator, given the opportunity to work with the personalities and egos and eccentricities of Hollywood, would quickly want to go back to just a normal run-of-the-mill arson case. Still, this is one of my favorite episodes. I think it was well told, with kind of some good layers to it. It really was, I think, a fascinating story, and this is one of the better ones we've heard in the John Lund era. All right, well, we turn now to listener comments and feedback. Roger said, as we road trip with our 4 children, 10, 13, 13, and 17, I've been introducing them to what Daddy's been listening to, Great Detectives of Old Time Radio. We all love your show. Thank you very much. I also got your book for my little girl's Kindle. The 2 of us have been watching my favorite detectives from my youth, Columbo. Your hard work is appreciated. Well, Roger, that's great. I hope you and your family had a great trip, and glad to be of assistance. And, of course, it's great to be able to share a show like Columbo with the next generation. Robert says, just found you guys. Super job tuning in from Dublin, Ireland. Well, thanks so much. Dublin is on the list of places I would like to someday visit. It's a big list, and I've got a small travel budget. Melissa says, anyone who has an iPod, take a look at this old-time Radio Detectives. Has all the commercials from the 50s. Really cool. Well, thanks so much, Melissa. And she's listening to us over there in Brooklyn. Appreciate all of our listeners, and that will actually wrap up another week of the Great Detectives of Old Time Radio. We will be back on Monday with Barrie Craig, Confidential Investigator. And join us back here on Friday for another episode of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. And remember, on Tuesday we have a new series that is, we're starting with Leonidas Witherall. So be sure and be with us on Tuesday for that one. In the meanwhile, send your comments to box13 at greatdetectives.net. Follow us on Twitter at Radio Detectives and give us a call, 208-991-4783. From Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham, signing off. Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham, signing off. Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham, signing off. Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham, signing off. Idaho, this